and welcome to the Red Leaf Retrocast, episode 55. This is the anime edition, titled Berserk, and Summer Impressions 2019. I'm your host, JD, joined by Tori, Hickey, and a special guest today, Aira. Aira, how about you introduce yourself, where you're from, who you are, all the shenanigans that entail, why you're here.
Alright, I'm Aira. I'm from Australia, down under. It's 2 a.m. here. And I'm here because I enjoy the anime, and I've always wanted to try the whole podcasting thing. I thought guesting would be a better place to start than diving in on myself blind.
Yeah, why not? Happy to have you. Happy to see if you will be Tori, the first Kohai podcaster? I suppose that's what the category would be? Word?
Yeah, more or less.
Oh, I mean, I'd be the first?
Yeah, you would be the first, actually. We've had other guests on before, but they've already had their own podcasts. So, you would be the first one who does not.
Yeah.
All right.
So, congratulations! You broke the virginity.
Welcome. Welcome to the internship program. I feel very sorry for you. Just, straight up say that right now. Hopefully you get, out of here with your sanity intact. I hope so.
Oh, don't worry, he won't.
Yeah, no, I'm not counting on that anyway.
So glad to have you here. Hickey is recording not from a car, but he is recording from, a closet that his dad stuck him into?
Yeah. Father's Day is coming, so he needs peace.
Father's Day coming, so I have to get away.
I'm just picturing this weird Father's Day. It was it's Father's Day, so today I'm locking my son away so I can spend the day alone.
Yeah, it's his
Brazil
day.
Tradition. Ancient Brazil tradition. So Hickey is talking into a phone, but hopefully his audio comes back better in post. But we'll be hearing nonstop background noise, echoes, all those shenanigans. But that's okay. We'll get through this. We'll get through the terror that is reviewing Berserk at the end of the show. And before that, we have the summer 2019 impressions, which should be interesting, I would think. And we got, let's just get into it. What's everyone been up to in the last week, actually? Who wants to go first?
That's a very open question. All right, sure. I've done a whole lot of plenty exciting stuff, but just basically nothing. I have a new quest, or a quest returning, so that's pretty much what I've been spending my week on. And
I'm excited for that.
Same. We'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, no, I haven't had the time to do anything exciting. I started up school again. Just have a couple.
I thought you graduated.
Oh no, I didn't graduate. I finished half of my exams. I still have the rest of them to do. So yeah, that's essentially what my next half a year looks like, and then hopefully after that, a job and probably some a trip to the university should be in my future.
You can't just get someone to pay you and stay home and watch anime?
Listen, do you want to pay me?
Really got to think about that one.
Well, you'll let me know you let me know your answer then.
What's the exchange rate on the Norwegian kroner to dollar?
9 kroner to the dollar, I think. 9.80 something like that, almost 10.
I don't think that's going to be a profitable exchange rate margin for me.
Yeah, I don't either.
Going to have to turn you down.
Damn. Oh well. I'm used to getting turned down at this point.
Oh, oof.
Self-esteem's high.
I know, right? Listen, when you have applied to something like over 100, 150 jobs, and you've been hit with no after no after no, your self-esteem isn't necessarily at that fucking peak.
That
I feel
sounds
sorry for
normal
you.
to me.
I applied to one job and I made one interview and I'm working. So, yeah. I just been working the whole week. I had a hellish week because there was some petitions I had to make on extremely old processes. like 20 years, 30-year-old documents and things like that. It was really bad, but now it's over. So thankfully, I can relax for the next week, which is great because it's my birthday week.
Oh god.
Yeah. So everything is
Congratulations, your parents had sex many years ago.
true. Not that many years ago. I'm not you, but yeah.
Oh, God damn. Ow. Now my self-esteem's depleting by the minute.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh god. It's hailing and the mic's picking it up.
It's fine. It's not fine.
If you guys hear
fine.
hailing, I'm sorry, but there apparently is a hailstorm hitting my house right now.
All right.
The good old,
Well, if you get clocked in the head by a giant ice ball,
the good old
let us
Australian weather.
Yeah, I'll try.
It's like, oh, everything is okay.
Sure.
Suddenly just start hailing in the middle of the night. That's okay.
I'm used to this.
the weather of the apocalypse is only happening in a place that's all desert.
Yeah.
Look, don't even get me started on Australian weather. It's the worst.
It's only some of the ozone is missing. It's fine.
Oh, yeah. No.
Well, I have a story I've been saving specifically for this cast because on the previous one I was kind of in a hurry at the end because I had to
Sorry.
make a soccer game.
I just thought, why? You got raped by a demon, but I guess no.
Where your mind goes is none of my business,
it's
I
Berserk.
guess.
It's the Berserk cast. If you're saving for this one.
You've been tainted.
Yes, I guess. I was like, oh, that's the Berserk cast. You went to fight in some medieval war or something?
You know, I found this strange egg at the grocery store. It had a little face on it. I didn't really think much of it. No, so I went to the soccer game, the football game. And
Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, I was so sure Ibrahimovic played for the LA team. Well, I was half right. He plays for the other LA team. So that was disappointing. Nonetheless, it's still the number one team against New England Revolution here. And so, there's Carlos Vela is really fun to watch. He was really good. However, so we're in the United States. There's this thing called pre-gaming in a parking lot, a tailgate party, if you will. Are you guys familiar with this?
Yes, I'm familiar with it.
But usually we don't
Okay.
do that in a parking lot.
Yeah, this isn't a parking lot because, well, it's the United States and we're uncultured swine at times.
No, it's okay.
You know,
No.
barbecuing outside,
it's
drinking, all that stuff. You wouldn't know anything about that, Tori, right?
No, of course not. I've never seen that before.
You've never seen barbecuing outside. That's forbidden in your country.
Yep.
So we're having the sandwiches, the meats, the drinks, and it's my car next to another car as it is in parking lots, but that's our little group, right? There's 3 cars. And we're standing in the spaces in front of the cars. So other cars can pull in. So we made kind of like where the middle space will be the part where we hang out, and then the left and right other cars can pull in if they so desire. Well, my car's on the right-hand side, and we're about an hour into the little festival, as you might call it. Lots of fun. Kids kicking soccer balls all around, having a good time. And then here comes this giant, like F3500, I don't know what number they're up to, but it's a Ford pickup truck, and it's massive, right?
Mhm.
Because in America, you have to drive massive cars, even if you're not capable of driving them.
Yes.
So, all the windows are down, and I swear there was 10 people of, let's call them Mexican origin, in the car. They're
Hickey.
just all squeezed in.
Look.
Yes,
Oh,
10 hickeys, but
I don't drive
10
I
hickeys,
don't
but
drive
because it's-
pickups. I don't like pickups.
So there's 10 of them,
There's
they're
10
10
hickeys
hickey-
inside of the car. Okay.
yeah, 10 hickeys, but because it's America, they're all overweight.
Yeah.
Yes.
On top of it. So he's really struggling to get into this space, and it's the one right in front of my car. So my car is facing where he's pulling in. And we're all just laughing around, like he's not making it. He's gonna have to like back in or whatever. He's struggling, backs up, goes in, backs up, goes in. He just can't make it into this space, right? Having all the trouble in the world. Then all of a sudden, the car jolts and rams into the front of my car.
That's what you get for laughing.
Yeah, I was about to say. See, here's the thing, right? That's obviously shitty. But when you were parked there, and you're laughing at this guy who's trying to park right in front of your car. I'm kind of just like, is this karma?
You know, it's not really what was going through my head at the time. It was what went through my head as soon as I saw my car get hit.
Oh, yes.
Which
Drunk
was...
JD. The classic.
I wasn't drunk yet, but I was 3 beers deep.
Yet.
Tipsy,
I was 3
JD.
beers deep, so I was,
okay.
yeah,
Happy
tipsy. That's a
JD.
good way to call it.
JD without
Tori.
suicidal
Happy
thoughts.
JD. Happy JD. Suicidal? Come on. My self-esteem hasn't been crushed that much yet. It's a matter of time. So I almost dropped my beer, and then I went with my bowling teammates, and they just look at me. Obviously, I'm the shortest guy in the group because they're all like 6'2", and then I'm 5'7", so you know, nothing like trying to get into a fight with 10 people and your 5'7" ass. But anyways,
Hold on.
So-
I did that. JD, stop being a pansy. That's why you always carry a knife with you. Dude.
Fights in Brazil go kind of different.
yeah, exactly, Hickey. I don't know if you've heard of the American news, but everyone has guns in this country.
Buy a fucking gun.
That's
Bring a
answer.
gun to a
hadn't thought of that.
gunfight.
The old Wild West standoff.
The Mexican stand-up.
That's where it might have headed. So this guy gets out of the pickup truck, and I just instinctively just yell at the top of my lungs, "Good job, asshole!" I really love that. So he gets out of the car. All the other Mexicans stay in the car, and I know there was 10 of them because there was 9 in the car left. So, my friend immediately busts out his cell phone, and he's recording it because, you know, it's 2019, can't help himself.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, gotta have video proof in case I get stabbed, I guess. So he goes and looks at the car, damage to his car first, as his instinct. And I go, you're in a fucking pickup truck that's twice the size of mine. Your car's going to be fine. I'm like dreading, because this is what, the 3rd time my car's been hit since I moved to Rhode Island, less than 2 years ago. All in parked car situations, basically. So I look at my car, and it's thankfully not damaged. He hit the license plate and dented it in a little bit, and it popped back out. I was able to just pop it. So I'm like, okay, I'm 3 beers deep at a soccer game in a parking lot. Clearly, I don't want the police involved in something like this, and I'm going to miss the game. Can't have that. Priorities, right, Tori?
Yep.
So the car's fine, but I'm still super angry. But I'm willing to overlook this moment. Then this fat 5'11" dude comes over, and he goes, and I, for some reason, was hearing like an Italian accent from him, but that's because he's from Rhode Island, but everyone else was speaking Spanish. So, in my mind, I heard, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Sometimes I forget the gas with the brake." And I just go, immediately, that's like, it just immediately triggered something. And I go, well, maybe you should have your fucking license revoked. And now he's yelling at me. He goes, "Oh, there's nothing to be angry about." I go, "You just hit my car and it's parked." And it just goes on and on and on. Then finally my bowling friend Tony, of course, because it's the East Coast, everyone has a friend named Tony now, including me. He steps in front, and he's 6'2", 6'3", and he goes, "All right, both cars are undamaged. Do we need to call the police?" And he looks at me, and I go, "You know what, you're right. Let's just enjoy." And the Mexican goes, "No, we clearly need to call the police. He's going to fight me." And I go, "I'm going to fight you? In what world am I going to fight in a 10-on-1 situation and being 5'7"? It's not a winning situation. So I was absolutely furious. He ends up pulling away, and the best part is he almost rams backwards into another car.
Perfect.
Yeah. It took the guy that was in front of his car to be there, so he almost gets hit, and he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. So.
And then you didn't even get to see Ibrahimovic.
And then that was like the little icing on the cake. We get there, and then I get the little program, and I go, wait, Ibrahimovic isn't in the starting lineup. Is he injured? Oh, no, I hope he's not injured. He's not on this team. Oh, God.
I came here for nothing.
I came here to see, and it turned out to be one of the most boring football games I've ever been to in my life.
See?
Welcome to America.
Like, yeah. Well, no, I've been to really fun games before in Toronto and Salt Lake and Houston. all the time.
Welcome to America.
Well, it turns out New England is a really bad team, and they get scored on in 3 minutes, and then LA just decides to sit on the ball for the rest of the game. It's like, oh no, it's like I'm watching Barcelona. Great.
Perfect.
So that's my story. Aira, do you have any stories for us?
To be honest, not really. My week's been pretty boring.
No public transportation incidents? No buying creepy eggs at grocery stores? Nothing like that?
No, nothing like that, unfortunately.
No fighting Mexicans?
No fighting Mexicans? I hear that's the new cool thing to do.
Yeah, no Mexicans. That might be... I don't think I've ever seen a Mexican in Australia, actually, which is weird, because I've seen, like, every other type of person.
Alright. Shall we move on to Tori's new little quest?
Sure.
Okay. Tori, just go into it. I'm not ready with the drop.
He always switches it up. Anyway, okay.
I gotta keep you on your toes.
It's alright. So, for my next quest, or I don't even really want to call it a quest. Essentially, what I'm doing is, I have a lot of shows watched. But I also have a lot of shows on my plan to watch list that I added some 6 years ago thinking I'm gonna watch these, and then I never did. There's about 309? Yeah, something like that. A lot of shows. So I decided, you know what? I need to start tackling those shows. So I decided that that's exactly what I'm doing. So what I've done is I've essentially made a spreadsheet, and I put down all the titles I have on my plan to watch list, and then I put them in like alphabetical order, so A to C, and then I'm essentially doing one show from each letter of the alphabet, starting in A, ending in C, and then we do that over and over again. That was essentially my plan. So, since this is the first one, that means that I'm going to start...
So I have questions.
Yes.
So essentially, this is the complete the plan to watch list quest.
Indeed. If you want to call it that. I'm not going to call it that.
Plan to watch list quest.
Sure.
Plan to watch Trash Quest. The way it is. Because
plan to watch Trash Quest. Indeed. There is a lot of trash.
After the last podcast, I went through all the 309 shows in that list, and oh boy, why, Tori?
And he ended up adding like 10 shows to his own list.
Like, honestly.
All right. So let me do something here.
Okay.
Hickey.
Yes.
You don't have access to my anime list currently, do you?
I do, but I would love to not use it.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull up Tori, while you start this on, I'm gonna pull up Hickey's Mal page, and I'm gonna see how many planned to watch list shows he has.
List? I have like 41. No,
not even close.
You
I
have.
don't have a lot.
113 on your plan to watch list.
It's not much, and they are all shows that got either recommended to me or something, I said, oh, I will watch that later. I won't watch them later.
Including Seven Seeds is on your plan to watch list. Get that shit off there immediately.
Listen to this guy trying to make excuses.
I mean, just like you said, Tori, when we were talking, the plan to watch list is where shows go to die.
Yeah.
So,
oh my god, yes.
Well, that's the whole problem, right?
Plan to watch list is the Shadow Realm of an anime fan. So, like, I'm not watching those shows. I mean, there's a few shows there that I will watch eventually.
Ashita no Joe is on there.
Yes.
Dude, watch that.
Dude,
Where shows go to die.
Bem is on there. Oh, we'll get there.
Wait, Bam is on?
We will
We
indeed
will.
get there.
Is it the 9? Some
Is that the
other one?
original?
No, it says currently
Oh, so I
airing.
forgot to change the whatever.
God damn it, Hickey, update your mal. Anyways, let's actually get into this quest now instead of talking about mals.
I have 135. Aira, do you have a My Anime list?
Yeah, I do, and my plan to watch is 249.
So
Weak stuff.
But I don't.
you
even-
win unless you're facing Tori.
Yeah, I used
I've
to
completed
use my,
almost 1,000 anime.
I used to use my plan to watch list a lot, and then I stopped using it, and instead I just add everything to my queues on different sites, and then I don't add anything to my plan to watch list. So it literally is shows I've forgotten about, and they will just stay there until they die.
See?
Listen, I know.
The Shadow Realm.
I'm not wrong.
I completely get Tori and how the watch list just gets abandoned.
Yeah, no, I was just noticing because I felt like I was watching shows on my plan to watch list, but for some reason, every time I looked at it, the number had gone up, and I'm like, how does this keep happening? Anyways, but let's actually get
That's
into
the
this
problem.
now. Let's actually get into this now. So,
Yes.
this is the first show that I'm going to be talking about. We're obviously going to start with the letter A. So my first show is Blue Submarine number 6.
Blue starts with
if
an
you
A.
Couldn't find like a certain scientific railgun or something like that,
I watched that. No, if
or
you're
Ajin, or nothing.
listen,
No.
JD, here's why. I used the
Alno Exorcist, Appleseed.
JD. When I went and did this, I went for the titles the way they're put on Mal. The title that is on Mal is Ao no Rokugo. Yeah, Ao no Rokugo. So
I see what
Blue
you're going.
Submarine.
Okay.
So Blue number 6.
It is
That's
the
why
it
it's
is the
okay. Now
way
it's really
that was
funny to me.
intended. Get the shit of English name out of here.
Listen, some of them are
Let me
English
introduce
names.
the show that starts with the letter A. It's called Blue Submarine.
Number 6.
Number 6, right.
yeah,
Number
anyways.
1 through 5 didn't make the cut.
Yeah. So do keep in mind that when I use the English name, it might not necessarily be the letter, but I couldn't be bothered changing all the names. That's too much work. So anyways,
Makes sense to me.
yeah. Ao no
You want to be
Rokugo.
lazy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Ao no Rokugo is a 4-episode OVA released from 1998 to 2000 and is produced by JD's favorite studio, Studio Gonzo.
Ugh. Self-esteem minus 1 more point.
You're not a Gonzo
Listen.
fan?
They ruined me a few casts ago.
They ruined his favorite show.
I was broken.
Boy, I'm
Anyways,
so
yeah.
happy that my favorite manga is getting an adaptation. See, Gonzo's, oh god. Watches the show, oh god. Oh, no.
Anyways, this is quite different. This was directed by Mahiro Maeda, who is the director, who's worked on shows like Gankutsuo, The Count of Monte Cristo, and Ava 3.0. The synopsis, let's see. The synopsis says, the once famous and well-respected scientist Thorndike has bred a new genre of living beings. One that thrives...
Zorn Dyke?
Thorndike.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just making sure. That's that could mean another. Okay. Anyway, go on.
He's bred a new genre of living being, one that thrives on the ocean and lives to destroy humanity. Thorndike believes it is time that the humans were relieved of their rule of the Earth. It is up to the Blue Submarine number 6 and the rest of the Blue Fleet to put an end to Thorndike's madness and creations. So basically, this is an apocalypse show.
Which means it's automatically good.
That's right. And what it essentially entails is...
Unless
the
it's by
world is-
Gonzo. Wait.
It is by Gonzo. The world has essentially been sunk. Almost the entirety of what we see is underwater. People essentially lived in broken down buildings that are like skyscrapers that are still sticking up of water, and some some stuff has been made so that they can walk around in places, but generally speaking, the world is destroyed, and the humanity is under constant attack from these shark, fish. Some of them look like bears. That doesn't really make sense, but it's okay, whatever. They look like different kinds of animals, anyways, and they live underwater, and they're all very angry and want to absolutely kill all humanity because humanity is evil, and they're killing them. Therefore, it's a constant cycle of people killing each other because they're mad at each other for killing each other. You know, war. Anyways, so yeah.
War.
This show portrays some of the greatest, and by greatest I mean some of the worst, level of CG I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'm looking at screenshots right now. It looks horrid.
It really does. It reminds me of these. It's the CG is on the same level as if you've ever played Sonic Adventure. It's literally that. It's literally that. It's not.
You can't be
it's not
serious.
good. No, I'm 100% serious.
It looks like something from the Dreamcast in 1999.
It's not good. It is
Well, the
not
timeline matches
at all
up.
good. But CG aside, the story is fairly generic. Again, humanity is destroying itself, as it always is, and should humanity destroy itself? Humanity is selfish. We will do shit like the entire point of this is essentially, why are these two races fighting? Well, they're fighting because they were told to fight, and they're mad at each other. And now that the constant bloodshed is happening, they keep getting mad at each other, more and more mad at each other, because everybody just wants revenge for all their fallen comrades, which makes sense, but it's a problem. Anyways,
That sounds
the
like
main character.
Yuri Kumarashi a lot. But
Yeah. Yes. Our main character, Tetsu Hayami, he is a shady dude who does all kinds of shady jobs, including murdering people, stealing,
That's not that shady. It's pretty straightforward.
drug trafficking,
That's kind of shady.
and
Just a little bit.
he was a former part of the Navy, and but he was dishonorably discharged for acting on his own, and therefore he's taking
Not
up
as
this,
shady business practices.
No, that came after.
Okay.
He had to make a living.
You got to be clear about these things, Tori.
Yeah.
I got to really know this character.
Yeah, but anyways, the somebody, Mayumi Kino, who was another one who works for the Navy, for the Blue Submarine number 6. She comes to re-recruit him because they need him, because he is the only one who can help them destroy this enemy. And
He's the only one that can hate this enemy.
he's the only one who can help them. So after
What a
saying,
plot twist.
yeah. So after saying no, I'm not going to do it, he does with this typical protagonist stuff, and he shows up to save them in the end anyways, and be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. Because of course he does. And but when he defeats one of the enemies, the robot that they're piloting, or like submarine or ant, because that's what it actually is. It's a giant fucking mech ant. And when that opens, this fish girl comes out, and she is dying, or can't breathe. They're on land now. And he just picks her up and puts her back in the water, because he's not a bad man. He doesn't actually hate these people. He just
no.
doesn't like fighting.
He just murders people for, business.
That's right.
It's nothing personal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just part of his shady business practices. At the end of the day, he goes, I don't murder for fun. It's all business.
Exactly.
And then
you're
he's
exactly
hired
correct.
by
That
the
is-
Navy
that is
to
the
murder
excuse.
fish people, and he doesn't do it because
That is exactly the thing. One of the things that comes later.
Someone gives him like $10 and he goes, all right.
No, not $10.
Bang!
No.
I mean, $10
Here's the
is
thing.
$10.
It is $10. But here's the thing.
I got to pay for lunch this afternoon after all.
Here's the thing. He has killed, like he says himself later on, he has killed a lot of people. But it's always been that like mech on mech fighting. He's never actually killed someone face to face. People have died as a result of him being there and fighting them. But so in that regard, he has a lot of blood on his hands. But because later on he's actually forced to kill someone, and that's a bit of a shock, because this time it's no mech on mech. He has to gun in hand, face to face, while this dude looks him straight in the eye. He has to pull the trigger, which is a little bit different. It's not the same. But yeah, there's a bunch of moral questioning. It's 4 episodes. It's not very well fleshed out, but it is entertaining. Also, the fish girls, they're the cutest things ever. Especially when this fish girl that he saves, she ends up saving him later after they get attacked by the big bad Verg, who's the main shark boss dude, who is a psychopath and wants to kill everything because his dad told him to.
I am getting a kick out of these names. The Verg, Zorndike,
Yeah, they're interesting names. But
Blue Submarine number 6, all unique.
Yeah. No, so yeah.
So question.
Yes, sure, go.
Does the mermaid fish girl fall in love with shady business practice dude?
Yes.
Ooh. So
now, here's the thing.
Can they procreate?
We don't know. They never did.
What do you mean don't? Fucking Gonzo, I swear.
I know. That's what I thought too. Now, theoretically speaking, yes, they can, because the fish people, they're not mermaids, they're literally people. They just breathe underwater. Like, they have the whole fucking human form, so I don't see why not. Should work.
I mean, they could have some sort of gill vagina thing that we don't know about.
Sure.
Gill
I bet
vagina.
Gonzo doesn't go into that.
It's worth a try anyways.
Gill vagina is a thing that was just said.
Yeah. That's not even the
Hey,
weirdest thing.
don't
that's
blame
been
me,
said.
blame Gonzo.
No.
JD.
They need to make these things more clear so gill vagina doesn't come out of my mouth.
Yeah. Nah, she does. Well, I mean, it's not specifically told that she falls in love, but she does eventually. At the end, she tries to speak his name, and then she manages to speak his name.
Yeah.
So sad.
She blushes.
So sad. But
Then
still,
they hold hands.
So romantic.
Those degenerates.
Wait, is she unable of speech? Is that the deal?
all fish people are unable. Well, all the fish
They
people are
communicate
intelligent.
with sonar and song like blue whales.
They do communicate with the song. Yes, you are correct.
Okay.
Fish
Pulling me
song.
back in.
Yep. But here's the thing: they are incapable of speech yet, but they are capable of learning. Therefore, some of them have learned to speak. Most of them have not. Verg likes to pretend like he can speak, but actually he cannot speak. He just has this voice modulator thing stuck on his neck that makes it so that when he roars in shark, it translates that to words, to actual words, which is kind of weird considering the fact that he's only surrounded by fish people. But I guess he wants to impress his daddy, Mr. Sorndike himself. So yeah, no, it's definitely lacking.
Rar. Hey, watch your language.
Yeah. Verg is a psychopath. Say you will never forgive the humans for what they did. No. Say it. No. You bitch. I'm gonna beat you up.
Rar.
And he literally, yeah, no, he does that. The entire thing, while the thing speaks, he just goes, rawr, rawr.
I don't
it's
think
hilarious.
that's how sharks work.
Of course it is. He beats that fish girl with a cane. He's a proper pimp.
It's a proper fish pimp.
Yes. It's a weird show.
Should be reviewing this show instead of Berserk.
That's why I am. Yeah, no, it's a weird show. It's a whole bunch of moral questioning. It's very short for what it is, 4 episodes. It doesn't really have time to explore anything. It's just generally the same old thing we've seen many times before. Humanity's bad. They're doing bad things. And, yeah, they do. What's humanity's solution to this problem? Let's nuke everything, of course, as we do.
That's valid.
Just nuke
Bombs
the
and
entire
guns.
world. That's revenge.
Very valid. I mean,
Yes, there's totally precedents to show that is what we do.
Yep. We just, hold on. Did we have this enemy that we struggled to defeat? Well, we have access to nukes. Fuck it. Just launch them.
But sir, Earth will be uninhabitable if we do this.
I mean, we'll
figure
get
it out
to
later.
That. We'll get there.
It's worth the sacrifice. I mean, what Elon Musk just created fish people that are killing us, so...
But don't worry. The main character, Tetsu, he goes and he confronts Mr. Sorndike himself. And he manages to stop them before they launch the nukes. And he kills Mr. Sorndike because he's an insane man who is a genius researcher, which is why he was able to create these people. And he decided to leave his research because of he didn't feel it anymore, and because he felt like he was oppressed because he lost his family and he wasn't allowed to grieve or see them or anything. So therefore he felt like what he was doing just wasn't worth it. What was his science? What was his evil science thing? They always have evil science thing. What did he do? What was the horrible weaponry that he was producing? He was trying to find a way to make it so that vegetables like potatoes and carrots could grow in any condition wherever on Earth.
Hold on.
So to stop the food crisis.
Hold on. How did he went from that to fish people?
You know, that is a very good question. Not only that, he fucking removes his own heart and uses that to operate the entire fucking thing. So that he is artificially kept alive. That guy is insane.
What?
There's a lot of questions at the end there, and I have no answers. He just kind of shows up and he's like, look at me. There's a hole in my chest. There are fucking wires coming out of here. I'm artificially kept alive. My heart is in the earth. I put it there. It powers this machinery that creates the fog around the island that we live on. It's also what makes it possible for these fish people to be fucking birthed. And I'm like, oh, okay. Sure.
What? What?
You're not really selling me on the show anymore, Tori.
Yeah, I was
I
interested, and then something about heart in the earth, and I don't know anymore.
The last episode is a mess.
So I looked at what this is adapted from, and it's adapted from a manga from 1967, and it looks a little bit different, you might say. I put a little screen cap of the cover in the chat here.
Yep. Just a little bit different, you know.
I don't think it looks the same.
Nah, man. Just they updated the art a little bit, you know.
Yeah, well, updated is a strong word to describe what I'm looking at.
The story,
When you look at how Aquaman used to be.
Yeah, the story really seems like something out of the 60s.
Oh yeah, it does. And that is definitely true. It's a mess. Like I said, it's short. It's kind of a mess. It's interesting at first. The last episode in particular is very much just stuff being thrown in your face. It's like, we're launching nukes. No, hold on, let me go and talk to him. I can't let you do that. But in reality, what I'm actually going to do, though, is I'm just going to be like, wink, I can't let you do that. But instead, I'm going to dishonorably discharge you again. So now you can go and do whatever you want. Haha. But you go and fix things. And then he's like, sure, I'll fix things. And then he goes to fix things. And then Verg shows up, shark guy, after having been defeated. Off camera, of course, as they always do. And he shows up and he's all bloodied and he rips off the voice thing. And then he goes over to fucking to Hayami, main character dude. And he starts punching him and he's like, I'm gonna kill you. And he doesn't. Then they return to the ocean. The end.
Excellent.
Yep. It's honestly though, all things considered, again, Fish Girls, cute. It's a decently entertaining show to watch. I had a lot of fun, especially for the first 3-ish episodes. The final episode's an absolute mess. Stopped it from being anything more, but I still ended up giving it a 6. I had a good time. And I like Fish Girls. Don't judge me.
You're a kinder person than I probably would have been.
I mean, you hate Gonzo, that's fine.
Gonzo has a special place in the hateful a hateful void of my heart.
This wasn't Gonzo's in the 90s. They were different. They adapted weird stuff from the 60s.
I do have a drop ready now.
Oh, finally.
Yeah, finally. So here we go. Oops, that's not the right one. There we go. Alright, since Hickey is in a car closet that his dad locked him in, I will say what's going on here with this one. This is JD and Hickey's Manga Manhwa Checkout, a segment where each episode we will highlight a manga or manhwa or webtoon after reading the at least first volume or however many chapters we end up reading if we really enjoy it. Our 15th checkout, just making that number go up one by one every episode, aren't we, Hickey?
Oh yeah, a lot of literature.
Lots of reading. Got to keep my skills up. Checkout is over the manga that Hickey chose based on my reaction and words I spoke about Lady Snowblood.
Yeah.
My fondness for samurai manga. And this is Ichigeki. Is a manga written by Yoshio Nagai and art by Jiro Matsumoto, released in 2016, and it's ongoing. I think it's about at 4 volumes, so it's almost a volume a year, it seems.
Oh yeah, there's not a lot of chapters, but all the chapters are very, very long. So,
yeah, I noticed that reading that.
And the good thing is, just like it is different from Inspect, that was French. It is different from Inspect. I cannot speak Inspect, whatever. Where the chapters are very...
Inspector.
I won't be able to. I'll speak with a French accent. In that manga, the chapters are very big, but nothing happens, and it's very, very dragged out. In this one, however, they are very interesting.
Yeah, there's only about 26 chapters in it, and the first volume has 6 of them. So, a good chunk was read. The summary from Anime Planet is very small. It just says, a martial arts historical series about a peasant turned samurai and caught in the turmoil of the final year of the Edo period, 1868. So to go a little bit deeper, you follow a peasant who works the fields during this era, and you're immediately given the impression that he thinks things through. He doesn't trust people. He thinks outside the box, while all the other peasants are dumb as bricks, right? Because they have no formal education. Meanwhile, the samurai are total assholes, as is historically accurate.
Well, for this era, yes. It's the same, yeah. Just a clarification, it is the same time period as Samurai X.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what ends up happening is, at the start, what's this character's name? Shit. I will call him Short Stuff. So
yeah, he's very short.
He's very short, and they really make that clear that he is short. So a couple samurai come to various villages, and they come to his, and they go, all right, all the men, come here. We're gonna have a little drill, and just for competing, you'll get 300. I guess it's sen, and if you complete this drill successfully, you will get 3,000. I guess it's not yen, whatever currency they were using. And they're all just like, wow, that's a shit ton of money. Hell yeah, I'll do this. What's the worst that could happen? And they're tasked with picking up this big rice barrel and they have to run around a tree and back and place it in the circle. And it's 1v1. The person who gets there first will win, and the other will... Did they say that if the other one doesn't get there first, they don't get the money?
No, I think they get the money, but like if you win, you get more money. Yeah, okay. It's something like that. Doesn't really matter. What matters, honestly, is the outcome.
Right. So first few guys go, and they sprint to the tree, and then as soon as they turn the tree, they basically collapse from exhaustion. So Short Stuff here looks at his big dumb friend. We'll call him Tony.
Tony.
And Tony here is like, well, I'll look stupid if I lose. And he goes, no. Just take your time, let him get ahead, and then when you get around the tree, that's when you sprint to the finish. And he goes, he questions it, and he eventually just goes, all right, I'll listen to what you say. And all these villagers are in tip-top shape because they work the fields. You know, they're built like brick shit houses, but they can't think at all. It's the formal education. Really got to make that point clear. Well, he ends up turning the tree, beats the other guy, even though he's the most out of shape out of all of them. Then it's Short Stuff's turn, and he's against this, arguably the best dude from, I guess, the surrounding villages altogether.
Yeah.
And he's short, so his strides are smaller, he's slower. They make that clear, and what ends up happening is, in order to win, he just throws the rice barrel over the dude, and it lands in the circle, so he wins. Well, the guy, of course, calls that he's cheating, and he puts the barrel down early, and then the samurai just goes, and he's noticing that he gave his friend advice, and then he's impressed with kind of how this kid thinks, especially compared to everyone else who they don't even know, like, what splitting into groups of 2 means. Because it's like, okay, split into groups of 2, and they go, what's 2? That's how dumb these guys are. So he goes, well, I never said anything about you couldn't throw it or anything. I just said you just had to go around the tree and then put the rice barrel in the circle. You didn't put the rice barrel down. You lose. And to really make it clear, that dude ends up fighting Short Stuff, and the guy tells him to stop, and then he wouldn't. So then the samurai cuts him in half and kills him.
Yeah.
Because you defied the samurai. So really gets you to understand the hierarchy of power and respect that's required. So anyone who passes goes... There was only 10 people that pass. They meet up, and they have to go through this training regiment to become samurai. Because in Edo, there's this rebellious group that's causing arson. They're killing people. They're stealing. They're pillaging. They're almost like Vikings.
Yeah, but it's like for trying to restore the emperor in power.
Yes.
And those guys basically are the guys who will fight those people who are trying. They are fighting for the shogunate, which is great because usually when you see like stories about that time, you are following the rebellion, which is trying to make the emperor the powerful person behind the country again. And those guys, they are
right
in the loser side. We don't know yet, of course, but they are fighting for the shogunate.
So, we end up learning that these 10 guys are tasked to learn the art of swordsmanship from scratch in 2 weeks. That's how much time they have. And they're going to be made into a group that's going to fight and take out this rebel group.
Yeah.
Well, during their training, this guy from I would assume is the government or whatnot comes in and he goes, you know what? I'm gonna change this little plan you got here that you got laid out for their training. We're gonna cut out the whole defense part, and we're gonna cut out the whole working together as a team part. So do it in 6 days.
Yeah.
So it's like, shit, okay.
Yeah. And then they become the Ichigeki, 1 strike, 1 kill unit, because they only had a chance to land 1 strike, because they didn't do shit. Like, they didn't know shit. So if they missed the strike and didn't kill the person, they were fucked and had to run. That's why they're called Ichigeki. Like, 1 stroke.
Yeah, and Short Stuff, even when they're going, okay, you've graduated, Short Stuff goes, but sir, question, hands up, yep, calling me here. What happens if we get attacked? We don't know what to do.
Yeah, they don't know how to defend, they don't know anything. They just know, like, it's the top to bottom strike. That's it. Congratulations, you are a samurai now. It's like, I don't think that's true, but, okay.
Yeah, and Short Stuff is the only one questioning it. Because the samurai that are in charge of doing that, they go, you graduate, we believe that your skills have surpassed our thoughts. You're great. You're doing wonderful. And they're just going, yeah, look how great we are. 6 days, we graduated. So to celebrate, they all go to a brothel, because as you do, gotta get your dick sucked. And Short Stuff just kind of goes up, has some sake. There's a cute girl that reminds him of his sister, because that always ends up happening, I suppose. And sees one of the rebel dudes, but he doesn't know that it's him at that moment. And then that night, they all go out to jump these dudes, and a brawl ensues, and everyone starts, as soon as the rebel leader starts to figure out what's going on, they do some damage to them. He starts attacking back, and that's where the first volume ends. Off of our little 1 strike kill squad starting to get dismantled. So I thought the art was quite poor
Yes.
especially from looking at the
cover art.
the cover,
Yeah, and
the cover art and the first few pages. I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And then it just goes, what is that? I just turned the page and go, well, is this the same manga?
yeah. Very crude art.
It's very crude. Not a lot of the hash sketching that I liked from Lady Snowblood or Blade of the Immortal. However, I really do gravitate towards these types of stories. It does interest me. I do like how Short Stuff is the only one with a train of thought compared to everyone, and how the samurai are assholes, and they even try to antagonize him and get words out of him, and there's thought bubbles where he goes, come on, man, I'm not stupid.
yeah. I mean, it's great.
I'm just going to sit here and take it.
You finish like the first chapter, but it is great how you see the moral degradation of the samurai. Because those dudes, they think samurais are, the best thing, the best people. And I think it's chapter 2, the end of chapter 2, where they are training and Short Stuff breaks his katana. It just bends.
No, that's his big fat friend Tony.
I don't remember. It's like the guy's like, oh, I bended my sword, and he's like, well, yeah, what's the problem? And he's like, well, the sword is the soul of the samurai, and the samurai dude is like, no, like those are just stamped metal, just to throw away and grab another one. It's just a tool. So you see the degradation. It is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it set up the plot well, the setting well. We don't know a whole hell of a lot about Short Stuff here, but he does intrigue me. I do like how the samurai are there's clearly some political agenda behind a lot of this, and that's where it's going to head, and that's what we're going to learn. I'm very interested in continuing this. I just wish the art was better because it's very poor.
Oh, yeah, but like the story compensates for the art. Especially the later chapters. Like there's some very, very interesting developments. Especially with Short Stuff, because he wants to
I'm so glad you're also calling him Short Stuff.
he wants to learn, and in later chapters he's training alone because he's like, look, we don't know how to defend ourselves. And they won't teach us, so we need to learn. And people are like, how? And it's like, I don't know, just swing the sword and try to figure something out. And he comes up with a style of fighting. Not very efficient, very primitive, but it's still a style of fighting.
Does he come up with the Hiten Mitsurugi style?
No, it's just a basic style, so he doesn't, get killed. Like he sees the guy getting killed in the first chapter, like after the first attack.
Right.
Because like the guy doesn't know what to do, and he just stands frozen and gets sliced in half. And he was like, I don't want to finish like that. I'm fucked. If they try to leave, they will get killed. If they don't fight, they will get killed. If they fight, they will get killed. So it's like, I don't want to end like that. So, he starts training, and it's very interesting. It's interesting to see the contrast between the samurai and those guys who think they are samurai.
Yeah, you're immediately given the impression that even though they're telling them that they're going to be samurai and they're wearing the clothes, they're probably going to get murdered when their task is done or something.
Yeah, it is
some
great.
Political thing.
It is great.
All right. I recommend it if you're into samurai manga, and if you can get past the poor art. I would recommend it. I think it's interesting. Tori, Era.
Yes.
What are your impressions?
What are you asking?
Either or. Does this sound like a manga you might be interested in reading?
Short answer, no.
No? Not you,
No.
Tori? What about you, Era?
Yeah, I gotta go the same. No, not really.
Oh,
Not really? Okay.
no one likes history.
Bummer.
It's sad because it is honestly very good, especially even if the art style is bad. It reminds me of One Punch Man story, which the story is quite fun, the art style not so good, but you can get You can get going with the story only.
Aira, are you a big manga reader at all, or are you strictly the anime?
I'm not a big manga reader. I've slowly been trying to get more into it. Funnily enough, I was actually a manga reader first, and then I went to anime, and then I stopped reading manga. So
Yeah, there's no much time to do both.
it's just because I'm a real legal guy. I get all my anime and manga legally, and that just it's hard. It's much harder to do that with manga and more expensive usually.
Yeah. I don't know how it is the market
Generally,
in Australia.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there is. We have a bunch of, well, we have all the popular stuff like physically, and Bookwalker exists, but it's just like it's expensive to have to pay for each volume.
Well, I have a friend who lives in Australia. He does the Modern Gaming podcast with me from Red Leaf Retrocast, and he's part of this monthly manga kind of club, I guess. And every month he gets 5 volumes of manga, and he picks which volumes he gets. So every month he gets 1 volume from a story, right? From 5 different mangas. So that's how he. It's like a slowly acquire and slowly read type of thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, coming up with some kind of schedule would probably be best. But yeah, it's just I'm trying to start to get into it. I just haven't much yet.
Yeah, I've never been into manga before, or even comics or the like, and it was something I was interested in diving into and doing this. That's kind of the point of this checkout, is to expand the horizons and see if something sparks the interest to continue reading. It's the whole idea behind it. But if Tori and you, Ira, are not into Ichigeki, that is okay.
Well, sounds so
right.
patronizing.
Okay, I will play. What kind of drop, Hickey, should I do? The Speed Racer one?
sure.
Sure, why not? All right, I'll do that one.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go!
Speed Racer.
Since we've been talking about
Go.
BAM and someone doesn't like it because it has Speed Racer vibes.
Yeah, really, right? Well, with that, Hickey, why don't you go first?
Sure.
This is the 2019 2019 summer impressions. Time's just flying here.
That's true. It's already August. Huh.
I know, what the hell?
That's bad.
Nah.
In 2 weeks, I'll have the NC if I'll get contracted for real in my job. So that is bad. Yeah, I'll start with BAM. It is a show from Production IG and another studio called Land Q, I think. Something along those lines.
Something really
Yeah. It tells the story about Ben, Bell, and Bello, which are 3 demons, and the whole thing is that they want to become human. So to become human, they need to help humans. Apparently, they are not sure. Someone came up with that, and they're just following it. So basically, it's a story of some demons, sometimes some humans with special abilities, getting involved in cases, and they usually get confronted by those yokai. It's the remake of a show from the 60s, which got remade 3 times. That's the 4th time, if I'm not mistaken. And honestly, I like it. Some people don't.
Nin.
Right, Tori?
Nin.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, I don't.
There's a bowling
Ben
guy.
is- there is indeed a bowling guy.
There's a bowling guy.
Fucking.
Yeah.
There are some weird
My
ass
ears perked
fucking.
up.
There are some weird ass fucking enemies.
Okay, so a little hiccup there. Hickey, you were talking to us about Bem from the summer 2019 season.
Yes, it's the story of 3 yokais, Ben, Bell, and Bello. They want to become human. For that, they decide they are not sure anymore that they need to help humans. So the story resolves about many cases, supernatural cases, involving either superhumans or other demons, and they go around saving the people affected from that. I like it. I'm enjoying it. The 3 stories that had right now so far, three or 4 stories that happened so far, were quite enjoyable. You can feel it's old, with a new coat of paint on top of it. It's a show from the 70s, 60s that got remade a bunch of times.
1968 was the first one.
It's
then there was a sequel.
Yeah, it's the same as Gegege no Kitaro. That every decade it has a remake. This is one of them.
Yeah, there was a special in 92 and then a remake in 2006.
Yeah. This is one of them.
Not as frequent as Kitaro.
No. Gegege no Kitaro.
God, it looks like Devilman.
Yeah, it does. It
From
does.
the 70s.
It does. And I'm genuinely liking it. Honestly, it's not very special. There's nothing too much about it. I like to hear the little yokais talking about, once you become human and what is the relation they have. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. Some people are not.
Yep.
It was made sure before the recording, and I'm honestly surprised. It's nothing special, but I'm enjoying it, definitely.
So here's the thing. The things that bother me about it is generally, well, first of all, like you said, it's the whole setup is a little bit annoying to me. The whole we gotta save humans to become humans. We're demons. We want to become humans. Obviously, why the fuck do they want to become humans? But anyways, that's something they can explore later. I don't really care about that right now. What bothers me is that general I hate setups that revolve around. So we want to become human. In order to become human, we need to save humans. At least that's what we think. Not entirely sure if that actually works, or how many times we would eventually have to do it to find out, but yeah. So they go out then to save humans from other demons and superhumans and whatnot, and generally it goes like this. Everyone dies, and then at the end they kill the demon.
And then the blonde police officer just shows up.
Yeah, and then she pisses her pants or whatever. But it's also
She pisses her pants or whatever.
Yeah.
Saturday.
It's one of those it's very cartoony. It definitely feels like a more edgy type of cartoon where it's just bad guys show up and we do bad things because we can. And then you have the whole class difference, the upper and outside, which is the 2 parts the city is fucking divided into. Uppers where all the rich and successful people are, and outside is where all the fucking trash of society is, and corrupt police, and it's I don't know. It's not very good.
We're seeing a lot of shows from the 60s returning. Let's see. We're up to Dororo. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. Dororo.
Even more, huh?
Yeah. Gotta add another RO at this point. It's another season has passed.
Sorry, I stuttered. No, you didn't. The Monogatari reference, you can keep going.
Right, yeah. Let's see, we got that one. We got Bem here. Devilman returned fairly recently.
2018.
Kitaro. The list just keeps going on. Do you think this could be a kind of the new thing? Would you be okay with... Tori.
Yes.
We both like Dororo.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I like how many rows you added, but I like the show, yeah.
Hey there, you like Dororo, right? You watched it. And he's gone again.
I'm sorry, did you ask me?
Yeah.
Yes, you watched the Dororo times 5?
No. No, I have not, actually.
Did not. Okay.
Shame.
So...
Shame,
first of all.
Yes, I'm very sorry.
So I watched Kitaro, and it was fine. It's more of a show geared towards children, so no harm done there. But then there's shows.
No, I
like
hate it. They can't aim stuff towards children. It all needs to be centered around me. Me.
Well, that's why they put the waifu chick there.
Right. Well, I mean, she was in every
I know,
series.
but
anyways,
look,
that's not the point.
If there's not even a comparison, it's not even a fair comparison with the other ones. You know that.
Fine.
You know that.
Yes, fine. Yes, I do know.
All right.
And then we're getting shows like Bem here, where it just seems like they didn't do I'm comparing to Dororo, and it adapted to the new era, right? It's very adamant. They changed parts of the story around. They made it geared towards 2019. While, from what I hear, Bem seems like they just took the story from the 60s, they threw it into 2019, and they didn't really update it.
They didn't even update the animation.
Right.
The animation
looks
very bad. It's animated poorly. You cannot fucking deny that.
It is. Unfortunately.
So here's the question I'm posing. Is it an act of just being lazy? To just take an old property and just throw it into today because they just need to pump out anime?
No.
Or
because if they...
is it just the inability to adapt?
You cannot say that in 2019 where we have 5 isekai anime in one season. It's not lazy.
Is it really 5 this season?
I just think it doesn't need a lot of work of adaptation because of the type of story it's telling.
Okay.
So maybe, I understand. Maybe it's something people just don't want. There's also that.
I think that is fair. For me, I think, we've already been over this before, but the thing that happens with a lot of these remakes, and I haven't checked to see if it's the case with Bem as well.
Oh, you can
but
ask
for a
me.
lot of these, for a lot of these productions, they are generally ways to train younger animators, inexperienced animators. Okay. So it's kind of like it's a safe first bet for them.
Revamp an old show no one's gonna watch and go practice.
Yeah, essentially. It's like, fucking, who's gonna watch this? Well, people who might have had an interest in it. What are they gonna say? Well, they're gonna be very pissed off, probably. Or they're gonna like it. It's kind of like, you can't really go wrong. They're gonna watch it. You've succeeded. Good, now you have something under your belt. Now you have experience. Go get him, kid.
Go get him, kid. Go make the next isekai.
No. After they make the shitty remake of the 60s show, then they get the raise to make one of the 5 isekais.
Oh, yeah.
Then if they're really good, then they get to make a show that is actually palatable.
Then they get to make that fucking isekai from what's it called? Oh yeah, from Commonplace to World's Strongest. They get to work on the CG for that. Oh. Why? Talking about bad CG in fucking Blue Submarine number 6, but at least that was in the 90s. What is that show's excuse? You can't do this in 2019.
All right, so since we haven't heard much from Era, how about you go next?
All right, then
Tell us about that show you stole from me.
No, I'll do the one I didn't steal first. How about that?
Oh, okay, cool. Just end my suffering, please.
Just end my suffering.
So the demon girl next door, which is Machikado Mazoku, is the Japanese name. And should I read the synopsis? Sure, why not?
Yeah, I mean, you can either read or just make your own synopsis if it's too big.
I recommend using Anime Planet for the synopsis.
I recommend not listening to JD. Doesn't matter.
Hey.
Right. I'll just
-1 point self-esteem. What are we up to?
Very
10.
low.
We're up to 10? Okay.
Yeah, out of 1,000, but still 10.
5 podcasts from now. Guys, the counter has reached -1,000.
We did it.
I'm just going to go in the corner and Yeah, we did it. I'm just gonna go in the corner, and you won't hear from me ever again.
Aw.
Aww.
Are you still going to record
Okay.
us when we do the podcast?
I show up every other Saturday. I'm like, okay, guys, I'm not part of this podcast anymore, but I'll record and edit for you.
That's what I want to hear. That's that go-get 'em attitude. Anyways, Era, continue.
Era, demon girl slayer thing. What is it called?
The demon girl next door.
Okay, all right. Is it a porn?
No, it's not a porn.
Will it be?
I'm gonna give that a hard maybe.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Anyway, so one day, Yuko Yoshida wakes up and she finds out that she's a demon. She has horns and a tail now, and she gets told that she has to kill magical girls and spill their bloods on an ancient family ornament in order to... did they even say why? I think they just tell her she has to do it.
To unleash the demonic power of her family, and then everyone will have horns and tails, and they will finally get out of poverty and bad luck.
That's right, yeah. The Light Clan of magical girls puts a tax on them, so all the demons live in poverty, and they need to kill them to get their power back and stop being taxed.
They're being taxed?
Yeah, they're like...
Yeah.
Like a land tax?
The mom says that because the Dark
tax.
Clan... Yeah, the mom says that because they lost, they get charged, like... What was it? Was it just 400 yen?
I know, but like the problem is because they lost.
What are they, the inconvenient IRS?
Yeah, it's
the
like
IRS
because they
inconvenient, right?
lost, they don't have any good attributes, which means they also don't have any luck. So like they don't they don't get any money because they don't have any luck. If they don't have any luck, they don't get jobs. They always lose everything. It's like it's a really, really bad life. Not gonna lie to you.
So, yeah, she has to... So she finds out that there's a magical girl in her town that lives close to her and goes to her school. And she realizes she's gonna have to defeat her, but the demon girl, Yuko Yoshida, also known as Shadow Mistress Yuko, is absolutely weak and terrible, and the magical girl is like insanely strong and was able to stop a truck with a single hand. And thus hijinks into comedy high school hijinks.
Yeah. Very fun show.
It is...
Is it living up to your expectations going in?
I would say yes, but like it was definitely different from what I was expecting, but it was still quite good. Like it was a lot more fast paced than I thought it would be. Considering that each episode is 24 minutes, it still goes pretty fast with the comedy and dialogue.
And how's the animation? I noticed it's by a JC staff. They're pretty hit or miss a lot of the times.
It's good, but well, it's good because it's not bad. It's just minimum.
Good by JC staff standards.
Well, no, it's just that it works for what it is because it's got like a pretty simple style to it. Like it's definitely stylized. Kind of reminds me of Endro, if you remember that. Anyone watch Endro?
Yes, I've watched it. I've watched everything.
Yeah.
True.
That sounds like a hickey show.
Excuse me?
Yeah, how's your self-esteem feel now?
I mean, I'm not denying it. It's definitely one of my shows. That's why I'm watching it. Yes, I mean, there's more animation that I was thinking we would have. But it's very simplistic. You don't need much, honestly. It's more about the interactions. And the jokes and the punchlines, like the magical girl training the demon girl to beat her. And like, it's just that. It's just a fun show. And the voice acting helps a lot.
Voice acting is very good.
Yeah, because we have our best girl there. Right, Ada?
Yes! Best girl.
Yeah, nobody cares about voice acting.
Oh, I care about
come on,
voice
Tori.
acting. I care. I listen to radio.
Do we need to get Fujiko again?
Nobody cares about voice acting.
We just spent a whole last podcast talking about the greatness of Fujiko's voice actress.
Yeah, because she was voicing Fujiko at the age of 74. That's a skill.
Okay. Alright. Well, moving on. Tori.
Me.
You're up.
I'm up. I'm going to do what I always do because I like messing with JD, so I'm going to do my order in reverse. So we're going to start with the Okaasan Online, aka Tsujo Kogeki ga Sentai Kogeki de Nikai Kogeki no Okaasan wa suki desu ka?
I
Or
hate
you
you.
like your mom? And her normal... Sorry. Whoa. Fucking...
Whoa.
Never mind, I'm not going with what Mal says. Because that is not the fucking title. Anyways, yeah, do you like your mom and her 2-hit multi-target combo attack? It's it's an isekai, guys!
Yay!
But we love
One of
those.
the 5 made the list.
boy.
I'm talking about.
Yep, it's produced by JC staff. Wow. Can they really do 2 anime at once?
I think they're doing like 4 this season.
Yeah, they
It's
got like
JD's
5
yeah,
this
they're
season.
doing a
They're
lot.
all over the place.
Yep. They do a lot of stuff. They definitely just accept shows. And yeah, it's directed by Yoshiaki Iwasaki. And who has done... Yeah, fuck it, I can't be bothered. Nothing.
Fuck it, I can't be bothered.
He had a lot of credits. I'm like,
That's the
I
spirit.
gave up. Anyways, yeah, so... Basically, the synopsis from Al says, just when Masato thought that a random survey conducted in school was over, he got involved in a secret government scheme. As he was carried along with the flow, he ended up in a game world. As if that wasn't enough, shockingly, his mother was there as well. It was a little different from a typical transported to another world setting, but after some bickering... but okay, and then it ends.
Cool.
I love you, Mal. I love you, Mal. But
It's becoming a joke at this point with Mal's summaries.
Mom wants to go on an adventure together with Ma-kun. Can Mom become Ma-kun's companion?
Does everyone want to bang the mother in this?
No, but she wants to bang
wanna
her
bang
child.
the mother in this.
I want to bang the mother in this.
Oh yeah, I
mother does not want to bang her child.
I follow the artist who made her. He's great.
That's fine, but Hickey, the
Yo.
mom does not want to bang her son yet. It's probably gonna happen, but it hasn't happened
They
yet.
fucking volume 4 of the light novel, as I was told.
Yeah, but this isn't the light novel. They haven't gotten there yet.
Whoa, Hickey, spoilers.
Yeah, man.
Save it for the hentai episode.
Yeah. Basically, it's your typical isekai. except this time it's,
I mean, yours.
It's your typical isekai hentai with mother and son.
I'm not into incest, so it might be yours, but no about
It's
you.
not my mother. Anyways, yeah, it's your typical.
Well, it's not
isekai.
my mom, so this incest sex is totally cool.
Exactly. So yeah, no, it's your typical isekai, except the main character Kun is not the overpowered. It's his mother, and they're in this government-funded isekai game world in which the entire purpose of this is to get children and their mothers to get along.
I like
So
that.
they're trying very hard to get them to
Japan.
get along, and honestly,
Japan, we have a population crisis. People are not fucking. What do you fund? A game where you play with your mother. It's like, well, I mean, that will solve the problem, not the way we intended, but you know.
Whew.
Oh,
you know what? This show is funny. I can give it that. I've laughed on more than once watching this. So in that regard, it's a successful comedy. That's more than I can say about most isekai.
Alright, that's fair enough, I suppose.
I laughed twice. It is a successful comedy. Wow.
Yeah, normally I laugh 0 times.
Oh, this world is fucked.
You say. I don't understand how you can say that. Nothing bad has happened, especially not recently. But yeah, no, definitely. Totally. Would recommend. If you're into MILFs online and you want to support this trend of more MILFs in anime, then we should absolutely watch this show. It's important. We need more MILFs.
Oh my god. I don't know why that sounds even more funny with your accent. I don't know if your fetish is MILFs.
MILFs? Are you into MILFs? I think you should like MILFs.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Okay. All right. My turn. Here we go. Fuck, I gotta make my notes. I'm all out of place, Tori.
You should have made your notes beforehand, JD. God, are
I
you
gotta
not
make
prepared?
timestamps. Maybe someone's just popping on Red Life Retrocast and they're like, I gotta listen to this MILF review here.
Well, we should definitely subscribe to me on YouTube then. Maybe you'll get some.
Maybe you'll get some MILF goodness. Okay.
MILF through the ages in anime. Going from absent to literally dying in the first episode and now being the main character. What a change.
All right, so I've pretty much tasked myself with giving my impressions over the top 3 anime of the season, or at least most watched. So I'm starting with Dr. Stone. It's by TMS Entertainment. We did a manga manhwa checkout on this. It has it's a shonen show, obviously, and I was very hyped going in. I got really into the manga. Very post-apocalyptic story because all the best
Very
are
post-apocalyptic.
So basically, your main characters, you're introduced to a cool little science guy and simplistic-minded, heart of gold character, your typical shonen character, and he's not proposing, but he's confessing his feelings as one does in anime, and all of a sudden the light goes off. They're all turned to stone. Thousands and thousands of years pass. And they get out. They're now in this post-apocalyptic stone world. And it's just him and it's just these 2 friends. And they first figure out how to get rid of the petrification of the people. They first awaken this super strong fighter guy whom if you listen to our checkout, he has his own ideals. He's this, I guess he's this Buddhist guy. Hickey, is that fair to say?
No, because Buddhism, they talk a lot about pacifism and not killing other people.
Well, he originally goes by a lot of that, right? Because he kills an animal and then he goes, I have to be thankful, use every part, etc., etc. That's part of the whole Buddhism thing.
He punch a lion and kill it. Yes. I remember that.
Yeah, he one punches a lion.
Yeah.
One punch!
Oh god. The lion punch.
So...
Well, yeah, unfortunately he's a little bit crooked. And he wants to destroy people who are petrified.
Yeah, he gets his own ideal. He wants to create... Because humanity's been reset to 0, in his mind, he could now make the world in his vision. So he has that. And... within the first few episodes, let me get the character's name right. I don't want to
nickname them again.
I don't want to nickname them. Senku, he's the science guy.
Bill Nye the science guy, as I call him.
He's Bill Nye the science guy, and the comedy words. It's exactly like the manga, which I in this case I vastly appreciate.
It is not exactly like the manga because Boichi's art styles didn't translate well.
I called it.
I know what you mean by that. I think it's passable.
Most of the girls are not. Maybe main girl, but the blonde chicks, they it's already bad in the manga.
It kind of reminds me of the One Piece art style and how that translates from the manga to the anime version.
Honestly, for the first...
It's not detrimental to the show.
It is not. It's just too jarring.
It's annoying when you know that Boichi is so good at drawing. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, like, the girls, except the main one. The main one is passable. The other ones, the blonde chicks, they look bad.
Well, you haven't really met her yet in this first impression.
We met her in the last episode. She appeared, and it's like
So
no. But it's the way we thought it would be. So I guess it's passable because we already knew what was coming. But yeah, the girls, they don't look fine. The men, they look fine, except when they try to do very like funny faces and things like that. It's not that good, but it's nothing that we didn't know it was coming.
Yeah. What I think is funny is, especially like when it comes to the female characters, like when you look at the manga, obviously, you'll always see that Boichi, he likes, for whatever reason, he likes to really space out the eyes on girls. The eyes are very far out to the side.
I did notice that.
And it's in the manga, or in his manga, it looks okay. It doesn't really bother me. But when I see her animated and I see that giant space between her eyes, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, they
kind
look
of alien-esque.
They look like they have down.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, I guess when you say it out loud, I picture that in my head now. Now I'm not going to be able to watch the show and not think of that. But anyways, thanks guys. Self-esteem minus one more point.
Why does that affect your self-esteem?
Because it's a show I am enjoying, and now I'm going to be like, wow, I wish their eyes weren't so...
He was anticipating it. The only thing he can think about when he sees the blonde chicks are fucking Clanhead.
Fetal alcohol syndrome. Oh no.
Yeah.
It's coming back.
Oh god. Don't remind me of Clanad.
So it's not doing anything I really hate. It's not doing anything that's bothering me, such as characters screaming in normal conversation, points that Kimetsu no Yaiba has been doing a lot lately.
Yes.
The more I continue to watch that, so I really like watching a shonen show where it's not incessant yelling. Now, not to say that it doesn't exist in the show, it does, but it seems like it's part of the moment, such as when Senku is facing off against crazy Buddhist ideal guy. What's his name? Tsukasa. So we're left with Taiju and his wannabe girlfriend kind of fending for themselves. And in that moment, they're kind of yelling at each other. In that case, it's the shonen stereotypes, right? So I like the way it's explaining things. The pace is very nice compared to the manga. And how one would read it. So I'm quite content with Dr. Stone. If you're a shonen whore like myself, you will be into this show. And that's my impression.
Whore.
I hope it continues this. Yes, shonen whore.
That sounds really bad.
You're such a whore.
I'm such a whore.
That sounds very, very
for the battle
bad.
shonen.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not very fond of the story or Senku, especially later characters, like chapters, but it's okay. It's fun. It's still very fun to watch.
It's a fun show to watch. And at the end of the day, I think that's fine. I think it's okay.
No.
Yes, Tori, you shut up. Hickey, it's time for you to talk about molestation porn. Go.
No, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. I really want to talk about it, but not yet.
All right, talk about the police then, or whatever. I don't know.
The police.
Cop buddy cop show. Yeah. Now I'll talk about... Let me just open my anime list. But yeah, I'll talk about Copcraft. Well, let's see if I can come up with a synopsis from the top of my head. You follow a guy...
Buddy cop,
the anime.
You follow a guy called Matoba. He's a police officer, and in this world, 15 years ago, a hyperspace gate opened and two worlds collided. And so from that, a city called San Teresa City appeared. And in this city, you have the inhabitants of the other world and humans interacting. So from those interactions, there are also crime and violence. That's why the police try to solve all those crimes. And in one specific case, Matoba partner dies. And so they bring in a knight from the other world. And her name is Tirana. I think that's why that's how they call her. To be his buddy and start working as cops together. That's basically it. Now they're together and trying to solve the crimes involving the inhabitants of both worlds. The show is done by Myopens. I've been watching it more because... Yeah, I'll talk more about Myopens. Because I really like Ranji Murata, and he's the one making the art for the show. Now, the story is fun. The story is actually very good so far. The biggest problem is the studio and the animation. Because Millpens...
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah, and we already knew that because if you remember the first impression... Not this is the first impression, it's the preview. Millpens has something to do with today's episode. They are responsible for Berserk 2016 and Berserk 2017. This was the redeem arc, and the first few episodes, when I say that is the first 2 episodes, are perfect. I believe they are very, very good. The story is intriguing. The character interactions are intriguing. You have Tilana, which is a knight, so she doesn't give a shit. She only knows about justice, goes around killing anyone she needs, torture people to get information. And on the other side you have...
So she's guts.
Yeah, so on the other side you have Matobo, which is, a cop. He needs to operate under the law. And it's very interesting, very cool, but then episode 3 comes, and the animation in the fight is very bad. And then episode 4 comes, and the animation gets even worse. And I'm committed, but if you cannot stand bad animation, I'll let you know that some parts of that is Berserk level of fuckery. Yeah, but it's fun.
That's a bummer. I have a feeling not a lot of people are going to be able to get past the animation then.
Yeah, which is sad. Like I've seen people talking about the show, and it's like if it wasn't the animation, the show would be great. Especially there's the chief of police complaining. I love that scene because Chilana they invaded a house in Chilana, cut off the finger of a guy that was holding a gun, and the guy's like, "You cannot do those kind of things." And the Matoba is like, "I didn't do anything. It was her." And the guy's like, "I don't give a fuck what this alien does. If she fucks a cat, you be a cat fucker as well. Now get out of my face." And I like that she's like, "Chief, this is racism." And he's like, "Yeah, go fuck yourself." I just love the interactions in this show, but unfortunately, the animation. Sometimes it's offensive to animation to call it animation.
Oh wow, that bad?
Sometimes, yeah. It's when there's a guy, Tori will know better than this. Than me. He worked in Naruto and Sword Art Online, and he likes to make the motion blur with animation, and then people take screenshots, right, where the animation is all funked, but it's the art of it's the style of the guy, and it also it also works to make the illusion of movement. The fights sometimes look like that, but it's because the person who did it doesn't have enough expertise to do those movements. So it's not one frame. It's actually bad sometimes. You can find some bad. It's not even screenshots. It's videos. about the instances where the animation goes from fucked up, honestly. Which is very unfortunate because, like I said, the story is very fun. The show is very fun. But goddamn the animation.
It's full CG, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Is it 2D?
Yeah, it is 2D. They only used CG once, which was very weird because it was Tirana and Matoba coming out of a car. And it was Berserk 2017 CG. It was one of the worst CG I ever seen. But it was only used once or twice in the show so far, I think. I don't remember that much because the CG is so bad. So if they used, I would have noticed.
This looks like CG in the screenshots I'm looking at.
No, it's not CG. It's 2D. I'm having flashbacks of Berserk.
Oh my god, no! Are they doing that thing where they're fucking mixing CG and 2D again, like they did in the fucking flying show? Don't tell me they're doing that.
I don't know.
Because some of these shots are absolutely CG. They are pan CG. Fuck, but some of them are 2D. Oh my god!
Yeah.
No.
I think they're trying to use, like, they're cutting corners by using CG to make the scene, some scenes behind it. So, to instead of having a lot of time and work invested in making the characters fit the same shape every single time, they just use a CG layout and then animated 2D on top of it. So sometimes you can see it's a mix between the two of them, but full CG only a few times. It doesn't
Gotcha.
like that doesn't give me going like Tori is. I don't really mind because I can get behind the story and that's enough for the mixed one. But the 2D, man, when they decided to animate fights or movement, like big movement, rapid movement in CG, it's just like, no. In 2D, it's like, no. Yeah. Which is very unfortunate. I'll say the third time. Very, very important. But I was expecting it, so...
All right. Aira, you are up for your next impression of the summer 2019 season.
Side Chester!
No, you're doing that right now? I thought you were going to the other one first.
Nah, let's jump right into
hate
Dumbbell
you.
Girls.
I hate you. You got.
Alright, how many kilograms the dumbbells you lift is a great anime. I love this anime so much.
Right?
Right.
I told people, this show is the best show that ever existed. It makes you discover fetishes you didn't even know it was possible.
Oh my.
It's just muscle fetishes.
Not even muscle fetish.
The
much
fetishes in this episode are strong.
So much sweat and shots about random parts of the body. Like, oh, damn.
Oh, come
Ada,
on.
before you start, who is best girl in this one?
Best girl?
Mashu is best guy. Like, there's no comparison.
Oh, for sure. Easily best guy.
But best girl.
Tachibana is the teacher.
Oh, the teacher. Oh. I can see it. She's second. I still prefer Hibiki.
Oh, alright, yeah.
Alright, you can start now. Let's start the fun.
Yeah, okay. So, Sakura Hibiki, our main character, is just your average high school girl, with a ferocious appetite. Noticing her clothes tightening in lieu of her slowly expanding waistline, she decides to look into enrolling in the nearby gym. There she runs into a girl from her grade named Soryuin. Soryuin Akemi. Soryuin.
Almost.
Whatever. I'm just Akemi. Whatever. Akemi, who has a muscle fetish.
Muscle fetish girl. Yeah.
Yeah, muscle fetish girl. Tries to get Hibiki to enroll in the gym despite its high ratio of macho men. Thankfully, a beautiful trainer, Macho, best boy, appears and unknowingly convinces her to enroll and start her quest to a great body. This show is fucking great. All the girls are super hot and they work out and get sweaty, and the guy constantly screams muscle lines and rips off his shirt. So
he's so
basically the best thing ever.
His head is so small in that body. Oh my god! Like,
his face.
What are you doing? Yeah, what are you doing? It's a must. Oh, I love that.
And I love when he puts his tracksuit back on. His body like just warps back to a small size. Yeah. It's like containing his power.
He just fucking deflates like.
Also, you have the tapes. That looks like those training cassette tapes from the 70s and 80s. Which,
oh my god, I love
you have
those.
the stands. You even have the graining of VHS. And he's like, now we're doing this exercise, and that is just like when fetishes awaken. Oh, I love the show. And the opening
is like...
the opening with... Oh my god. Alright, I'm getting too excited. Please keep going. I wanted to talk about the show, you piece of shit. Please, just go.
This show is really freaking good. The fan service is like... It's like really good, but it's also like not really that in your face. It's like almost really good, tasteful fan service that's still super fucking hot.
So was it like close up on their abs and it shows them in tight shorts kind of situations?
You know it.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. And it like gets really close up to their thighs and stuff as they're getting into positions.
They are trying.
I love it though because it's literally like.
Please, Tori, you can use.
It's self-aware as well, because like in the early episodes, it's just like when they're demonstrating like workout techniques. So Hibiki's just like, why is this so needlessly sexual?
Yeah, she comments like why the hell? What's with the sexualization?
Like Hibiki voice actress is mixed race as well. Something like that.
Not accepted by any race. Got it.
Not accepted by...
So I typed the show into Google Images, and I've come across a screenshot where it looks like the main male character is dressed up as Kenshiro from Fist of the North
Yes,
Star.
Yes.
That's the best episode.
That is the best episode.
They make a reference to fucking Fist of the North Star without making a single reference to Fist of the North Star outside of the outfit.
Yeah,
it's
that's because
so
Tachibana Sensei Sensei is trying to
screens.
get fit because she's a cosplayer. And she's on an event, and she just bumps into fucking Macho as what is the name of the guy? Muscle
King.
Muscle King.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it's Muscle King, and she's like, who the fuck is Muscle King? It's like everyone knows who Muscle King is. So
Uses a special attack. Fucking
Yeah, they're like,
weightlift.
do that scene, and he's like, oh yeah, that scene, and he just starts lifting weights.
It's like fucking...
Oh, I love
it's so great.
this show. See, as I said in the fucking preview, this show is the best thing that ever existed. Done.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's so
Done.
good though. It is
so
yeah,
good.
no, it is so fucking good.
All right, so you guys all like it.
Yeah.
No, I hate it.
Tori, you're up.
I'm up. Oh, shit. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about a completely new show that nobody has ever heard of before. Completely original series. Never, no relationship to anything else. It's called A Certain Scientific Accelerator.
You mean Shadow
yes,
the
right.
Hedgehog, the anime?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Is that our second Sonic Dreamcast reference?
Yes.
Oh, it is.
Anyways, it's a it's another spin-off of the certain of the Raildex franchise, and this time it's about Accelerator. It is still being produced by JC staff, and this time with the help of ACGT, and directed by Nobuharu Kamanaka.
Is this the fourth JC staff we've covered now?
Third?
Third that we've covered.
Yeah.
Third. Okay.
JC staff. Just uniting.
They do a lot.
Uniting third body workers together to do anime. Such a beautiful story.
Definitely. No, but this was different. Obviously, the Two series is JC staffs, and that's been so for a long time. And there's no difference there. Accelerator. It follows Accelerator. The synopsis goes, the Espers of Academy City are classified into 6 levels, where level 0 lacks power, while level 5 possesses an overwhelming amount. Or, of the several million Espers residing in Academy City, only 7 of them have attained level 5, and ranked highest among them is the one known as Accelerator. Towaru Kagaku no Accelerator focuses on the strongest level 5, yada yada yada. It focuses on Accelerator, basically after he has rescued Last Order, and he has been reduced a little bit. Bullets to the brain does that. But it's okay, he's fine. He's Accelerator. He'll live. And so essentially it's more shenanigans within Academy City. It's just essentially like, while taking place at the same time as the other I think it's in Season 2. I think
Season 2 of...
It might be what? It might be between seasons of Index.
Chill, they're 2 shows about like Railgun or Index.
No, but like okay.
It's
Season
between
1 of
seasons
Index.
Right? Season 2 of Index. He's not part of the group he was in Season 3 yet, right? I'm not watching it. I lost the queue to watch it, and so now I'm lazy. Like, I don't feel like watching it, so...
Nah, but the thing with the Railgun series is, obviously, you have Index Season 1, then it's Railgun Season 1, Railgun Season 2, then Index Season 2. But I don't remember if this takes place at the same time as Season 2 of Index, or if it's just before, but it's in that time period anyways. And we follow Accelerator as he gets involved with some shady people who can revive the dead and use them for human experimenting, and try to do shady shit, and he is just like, he's still in his evil phase, right? He wants to prove
really
it to
into
everybody.
These characters that do shady shit, Tori.
Yep. Yes, I am. And he just wants to prove to everybody that no one is as evil as he is. So he goes psychopath on people and just starts using his power and beats the crap out of people who are like... There's a group who's like the dark side of Skill Out, the police that are responsible for keeping the order in the city, and especially keep control over the many Espers. I still kind of wonder what the decision was to have a special task force called Skill Out that's supposed to take care of these situations, and then have them not have any power. It's like they're really useless against people with power, like Espers. Anyways. There's some dark side of them, and they try to do everything they can to like restore their proper order. That's kind of the arc we're in right now, and they're like killing people who have sinned according to them, and they're like killing them and reanimating them to do their bidding. And Accelerator finds this, and he gets one of the guys, or 2 of the guys, runs into them, and he is just like, "Oh, you think you're evil? Let me show you fucking evil." And he absolutely destroys them in a fight and have them fucking piss their pants, because everyone has to piss their pants around Accelerator. He is the strongest level 5, and even though he might have been shot in the brain and has decreased brain functions, he is still strong as hell. So yeah, if you're into Relic series, again, you would have to start at the beginning. I do not recommend anybody starting here. This is literally in between stories, so you don't start here. But it's a fun one. Definitely where JC staff put more of their effort in. It's not great looking, but it doesn't look bad. It looks like Index, kinda. It's not
joint production with ACGT.
Like I said, yes. But it looks like it kind of has more of that like Index production value. It's not quite Railgun production value, but it's good enough.
I'm gonna fill a few voids that appeared in season 3 of Index, definitely.
I highly doubt it.
The beginning of the season 3, not the end of the season 3. The end of the season 3
Well,
is just...
no, but this doesn't take place. This doesn't take place anywhere near in season 3.
I know,
They probably won't ever go there.
There's still a few things involving Accelerator that, for me, didn't make any sense. Of course, I need to watch the second season of Railgun, but...
You're not going to get anything there either. No, I mean, what do you mean you didn't understand? You became an angel. Spoilers.
Not the end. The end with nuns fighting in the ice against maids. The beginning with the groups and the academy, those kind of things. You have school and then the other one, and I think there was one called Pencil, but I might be mistaken. There's so many weird names for.
Oh yeah, there are many weird names. But considering that this is only 12 episodes, I highly doubt they're ever gonna go there.
No, so I need to
if they
wait.
get another
I need to wait the
season,
second season.
probably.
Yeah.
If they ever get one. Like, I have no idea how the Accelerator. I think is it a manga or a light novel?
It is a light novel, I think.
What? Accelerator? No, Accelerator's a manga first.
Accelerator
is a manga. Yes.
Okay.
So it's just like Railgun in that regard. It's fairly recent, isn't it? It didn't come out start in 2013. Never mind, I'm full of shit. Why is it only... it's only 12 episodes because Railgun Season 3 is happening next season again. So, I guess we'll wait and see.
There's so many things Rayodex coming on.
I think it's funny because, I mean, in the whole Raildex thing kind of died out, and then all of a sudden they were like, people still want more, let's just give them everything.
Yeah, it died, and people, were still talking about it to this day, so it, had no problem just coming back.
Yeah, I like it. I like Raildex. I even like Index Season 3. Yes, it's a fucking mess, but it's a glorious piece of shit.
Oh man, losing an episode of Season 3 was just like, I'm not understanding shit, but it's fun.
Yeah. It makes more... Accelerator makes more sense than Season 3. But, yeah, no, it's mostly just an action show with Accelerator kicking ass, and then every once in a while they try to turn to drama and be like, oh, there's this group of people who's come to kill Accelerator, and it's like, oh, they have this special weapon that they stole. Oh my god, and they got fucking wrecked.
Well, speaking of having fun... It's my next show. It's Machi Season 2, a.k.a. Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon 2?
Yes.
This is coming off the heels of Sword Oratoria, which was the focus on Eyes Wallenstein, whom had one of the worst filler arcs I've experienced. It was very boring. It was very disappointing coming off of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? So I had mixed emotions going into Season 2. In a nutshell, I should hate this fucking show. However, I really enjoy Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Let's be real. You just in for the boob string. I know. Everyone is.
So Belle and Hestia are back. Boob ribbon and all.
Yay!
Yeah, boob ribbon.
And the character combination of Rabbit Coon, aka Belle, and the let's call it what it is. Hestia wanting to get his D at all moments of the day.
Yeah.
It pretty much jumps right back in to where Season 1 left off, sort of, to an extent. They had their party over the big battle that ended in Season 1, and now they're back in town, and Belle has this now overall respect among the group that knows what he did, but everyone else still kind of looks down on him. Mostly because he's part of the Familia, and for those that are wondering, this is a fantasy world in which the basically Greek gods have come down to Earth and have factions that all revolve around them.
Objection.
And Hestia... Excuse me?
I think there's way too many gods now. But I believe...
Well, I mean, there's a Greek god for everything. There's so many things.
It's Roman names. Like I have Apollo. in this season.
Oh, you're right. Oh my God, yes. The Roman gods, basically.
Yeah, but like,
thank you,
no,
Hickey. God,
no,
foolish
it's
of me.
no, it's both.
No, there is Greek gods
Yes,
as well.
that's what I said. You have even, I guess, Japanese gods now. There's a bunch of gods.
Every
Like,
god.
doesn't matter. Yeah, every god.
They are just called. They just call them gods. Like, I don't think they bothered that much with being like, there are different types of gods. It's just, every god. Let's just go. Fucking Greek, Roman, Japanese. Fucking Jesus Christ will probably show up eventually.
Can you imagine that? He was like, he was
Jesus and Moses.
An actual Jesus kun.
Jesus familia
No,
just going
Jesus
in.
Chan, the lolly.
Oh, don't do that.
Pull a fate and make Jesus a lolly.
Yeah, so it revolves around these gods creating factions, their followers, essentially. And everyone goes into this big dungeon that's been created by the gods. It's almost like the gods... Actually, they do say this. The gods got bored, they came to Earth, and now they're here.
Yeah.
So, the first impression of Season 2 is... it's Apollo who has this, like, weird fetish for Belle, right? It's Apollo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of people have weird fetishes on Belle. You need to be more specific. You have Ara.
This is the fetish episode.
You have Estia. Then you have Ara God. Then you have Apollo now.
Yeah, so Apollo is super rich, and he just anytime he gets obsessed with a human, he wants them a part of his familia, his faction. And Belle is next on the list. So obviously Belle refuses, and what ends up happening is Apollo hires where he hires the familia that's by the alcohol god, who doesn't kind of give a shit, and he has this evil dude kind of running things. They become mercenaries, and so Apollo and the mercenary familia are going after Belle, fucking shit up, and that's all because Hestia refuses to accept the challenge of a war game. And it's God versus God, essentially, familia versus familia, faction versus faction. Well, obviously they don't want to be hunted forever, so she kind of has no choice but to accept. She does get pissed off, and so things go down. The gods are in the room discussing how the war game is going to happen, and they end up drawing lots, because the only person technically in Hestia's faction is Belle. So it's not really fair. So they go, okay, let's draw lots. All the gods put in a suggestion. It turns out to be a siege, in which Apollo's faction will defend a castle, and Hestia and her and Belle will essentially have to defeat the leader of the castle, make it fall. Well, based on events that happened in the first one, and the friends, and the very close friends Belle has made, they end up getting permission to leave their familias and join Hestia. So now what are they up to? 5, I guess?
Yeah.
In total, something like that. It's a still small number, but it's growing. That is kind of the point to it. And the show doesn't putz around. You know, a lot of these action shonen battle shows will just go on and on and on, and it doesn't seem like you're really getting anywhere. Well, what sets Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon apart is it just goes balls to the wall. Here is your beginning, middle, and end issue for this short arc, and within a few episodes, it's solved, move on to the next thing, and progress an overall story that's kind of been developing in the background. So the first one we saw Belle progressing as a dungeon diver. I forget what the term is. An explorer, an adventurer.
Adventurer, yeah.
Yeah. And this one, it's going to be, from what I can tell, growing the Hestia faction, right? And it all revolves around Belle and his development still. And upon ending the siege little arc of Apollo, Hestia, part of the deal was if Hestia loses, Belle becomes Apollo's butt buddy. Let's call it what it is. There was even one member of Apollo's group that's like, I do everything for him, clearly giving up his anal virginity. It's all right there on the wall. He said it.
Yep, he did.
And Belle doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to lose that virginity. Well, Hestia does, yeah. Hestia does end up winning, and she goes, I want your house, I want you out of here, fuck you. I was like, okay, great, awesome. Big goofy smile on her face. The show is, by all definitions, fun and to the point. Belle is easily a likable character, and like I said, based on what I like in anime, I should hate this show. But I don't. And of course it's by JC Staff.
Of course it is. Everything is.
Everything's made by JC Staff.
That's okay.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I disagree. I don't like the
much
first
is.
season like that much.
Fuck you, Hickey.
Honestly, I don't like Bell in the first season. And then he has the fixation with Ainz.
Yeah, he still has his super crush.
But like she doesn't appear that much in the first arc, which is great because I don't think she's
the less you see, it's a less is more situation. We get who Aiz is. He likes her. She's powerful.
The second season,
the less she's on screen, the better. But she has her point.
Okay, see that's always been my thing, right? One of the things that I like, and here's why, like. Obviously, yes, she shouldn't be on the screen that much. Kind of why Sword Art Online fails. Because to Belle, Aiz is the perfect warrior. She is strong, courageous, perfect, right? So the show does its job to try to frame her in this way, because obviously we see things through Belle's perspective.
Right.
So to us, she should be perfect, essentially. But obviously, they balance that out by having her as a pretty far removed character. She only really shows up to do something heroic and then disappears out. That didn't really
Belle,
work.
We got to make you stronger. You're the strongest person I know. Train me. It shows them training. Great. That's all we need to know.
Yeah. But in Sword Art Online, the problem there becomes she becomes the focus. And while I
she's
do
a
respect,
deadpan, dumb character.
Yeah, I do respect trying to give her that story of she's not that strong. And I figured that was going to happen at some point anyway. So she still has stuff to overcome, and she has her own little story, her own little past and whatnot. I figured that was going to be something, but it's also one of those things. She is still at the same time has to remain with that flawless exterior. So it's at that point it becomes too much. She is too present. So I prefer the way they do it in regular Damachi, where it's just she is not really there. Therefore, we could kind of just have her as she is perfect to Belle, and then whatever she does off camera, who knows?
Yeah.
She's
So
on camera.
I mean, just let me finish what I was saying. It's really quick. Right. I prefer the second season. I think the characters are more balanced in the second season, especially because you have more interacting now.
Agreed.
The first season, I honestly don't like that much. I don't like... It came in on a really, really bad time. At least for me. You had a bunch of dungeon crawlers kind of things. Not even isekai yet. But you had that. It's the same fucking VA every single fucking time. And people were like, oh, he's great, I love him. I was honestly done with him being the main character in that kind of scenario.
What do you mean? You don't like Kirito?
Yeah, it's always the Kirito voice actor in the same scenario.
With the same voice.
Yeah, and then you have Bell just pissing his pants for half of the season. I didn't like Estia that much because she's obsessed with him. Unhealthily obsessed with him. Don't mind those characters, but don't like them in the spotlight. You have an interesting ending, kind of bad with the revelation you have in the ending of the first season. So this second season, I can get behind. I'm enjoying it. The first one, not so much. That's just it. Okay. You can go now.
Yeah, so the second season, it fully expects you to know all of the side characters, and it is kind of important going into it because of how they help out the Hestia family during this war game. The war game does end, I believe, on episode 4, and that's how far I got. I did watch an extra episode. Forgive me. So I like the slow building of the faction. I like where it's heading. It does leave you on a little cliffhanger, which is very much appreciated every arc. You know, I have that big pet peeve with, say, Black Clover's a great example, where they have the arc and it essentially just restarts from zero every time instead of teasing of something to come. Mm-hmm. So at the end of 4, it shows Freya. Well, My Hero Academia kind of does that. It's not as egregious as Black Clover. But anyways, Danmachi 2 shows Freya, and she goes, man, if I was about to step in Apollo, but this is more entertaining. So she has her own agenda, and from all impressions point towards Freya is going to be the next god that's going to interfere or start having some influence going forward, and where Belle and Hestia's relationship goes with the rest of the group and characters. I'm looking forward to it. This is a show I enjoy. This is a show that's fun to watch. And yeah, can't wait. JC staff, lot on their plate this season. Moving on.
One question real quick, though.
Okay.
What do you think about that new familiar emblem that Hestia drew?
It doesn't look like a bell to me.
It really does not look like a bell to me either. And honestly, I looked at that and I'm like, this is our new emblem. And I just look and I go, huh?
Yeah, it has
What
the
is that?
Yeah, it has the Hestia fire flame, and then they go, oh, it's Hestia's marking of the fire flame, and a bell. And I go, kind of looks like a harp, I guess. It looked like one of those Rorschach paintings.
Yeah, I'm like, that looks like trash. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't display that anywhere near my fucking mansion. Not that I have one.
No, that I have. Yeah, no, I mean, I can see the bell. But I just said that I was like, it's a bell on fire. It's the bell on fire. It's a fucking firebolt of fire. I was like, oh my god, this show. It was a firebolt reference. And I was like, oh no, I'm not giving it. Like, I wouldn't use the emblem. It's like, oh, which is your familiar? I don't know your emblem. Oh no, I'm just, Vestia family. He's like, what? Yeah, that one, down the street. I honestly wouldn't use that emblem.
I don't live here.
Yeah.
I'm just visiting.
Just doing tourism.
Yeah. All right, we got 4 more shows to go through, so let's try and pick up the pace here. Hickey, is it finally time to talk about molestation porn?
It is finally the time everyone was waiting. Time to talk about molestation porn. Just open it. Hold on. Don't remember the name. Here we go. The show is... I mean, it would be fun and... Not fun, because it's a Mario Kart.
What is molestation porn's actual name?
The actual name of molestation porn is Araburuki Setsu no Tomedomoyu, which would translate as Maidens of the Savage Season. Okay.
Maidens of the Savage Season.
It is done...
Seizure.
Yeah.
Seizure.
Savage season.
I mean, depending on how hard you do the thing, probably. It is done by Studio Leidus, and it's based on a manga written by...
Deuce.
Yeah, written by Mario Kada, which you love to talk in this show. She is a good writer most of the time, if she tries to do what she knows. Yeah. Well, this show talks about the literature club in a high school, and it's the story about 6 girls. They are friends. They are part of this literature club, and they do the activities until one day the theme of sex comes to play, and then they start. They are in the teenager years. Starting beginning of teenager years, and then they start talking and thinking a lot about sex. That's basically the show. And then, the
What's the fetish in this one?
molestation porn.
Okay.
Because the main girl...
really gotta make that clear.
Yeah, the main girl, her name is Kazusa, and she has the childhood friend that she always saw as a boy, her friend. Now that she's thinking about sex, he's becoming a man in her eyes. And there's one part of the show where she's going to his house and to deliver some food. And the door is open, which shouldn't be. You shouldn't do that with the door open. And she's like, well, the door's open, someone must be home. And then she hears a noise coming out of the guy's room. She goes into the room and see the guy's beating his mate to a peculiar type of porn, which is molestation porn.
Does it involve MILFs?
No, but it involves ugly bastards.
Probably.
Probably it's molestation porn.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is.
And he does that respectable thing that all men do in this situation. He just tries to strike a casual conversation, trying to play it cool without stopping the porn, of course. He's like, what are you doing here? Yeah. Oh, you're bringing
Did you leave
food,
the stove on?
This isn't awkward at all. Actually, this is very awkward. Let me pull up my pants. Hold on.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So you start having. It's basically a story about the disadventures of those girls as they grow up to be adults and develop the sexuality. It's very fun. I wasn't expecting to be that fun. Especially, it has a really nice mix of themes and stories and styles. Some of the stories, some of the girls have a very shoujo-like style, like his one senpai called Sonezaki Rika. Her story is extremely shoujo. And on the other end, you have people like Kazusa, our main girl, and Hitoha, which is a senpai who wants to be a writer, having kind of a more mature and josei kind of story behind them. Very, very interesting. I have mixed feelings about Mari Okada. I don't think her sense of humor is that good. But in this one, she's doing a very, very good job.
Which is funny, because this is not a comedy, it's a drama.
Right? And we are joking when we started watching this season as Mari Okada probably went out with Ikuhara and drank whatever he was drinking. Because that doesn't look like her show so far. We had a pedophile already in the show. So,
yes.
So far, it seems very refreshing to what Mari Okada does, which is either very dramatical things involving cliched themes or not very good shows like Mayoiga. So far, it is a show that every single week I am eagerly to watch. I wait eagerly to watch because it is that fun.
Alrighty. Who's up next? Aira, you're up next.
All right, here we go. The other show I stole from Hickey.
Yes. I love the manga of this show.
Are You Lost or So Nan Desu Ka? It's done by Studio Azola, and so because of the synopsis is, because of a plane crash starting today, we're spending the springtime of our lives on a deserted island. There's nothing here, so we have to make everything and eat everything. Check out our high school girl survival story of courage and knowledge. We're actually doing pretty well. We learn how to eat cicadas, how to build traps, a simple allergy test, how to eat hermit crabs, etc. This is basically cute girls survive on an island.
Cute girls doing Bear Girls things.
Yep. Bear Girls Anime Girls Edition.
Yeah.
It is pretty good. It's a short one. It's like it's 13 minutes an episode. So each episode.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not like super short. It's just about half the length. It's not so short that it has to go super fast. I mean, it kind of goes fast, but like the dialogue doesn't go fast, which is always appreciated.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Really love
All
Homare.
of that 2-minute shit.
Really,
Best-
like Homare. She's just talking, and then something jumps. She just grabs me there and put it inside of her mouth, like nothing
Yeah.
happened. It's like
She
she
just like
ate
grabs
something.
cicadas as they're jumping by. Like,
Oh, I love her. It is very fun. It is a very, very fun anime.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just fun. It has a weird like it like has fan service, but it's kind of weird fan service as well.
Because
Drink my
because
piss.
it's not, they are not showing you because they want.
Drink my piss.
Yeah.
No, literally, it's like
Literally,
I'm
yes.
I'm
Oh,
dying
yeah.
of thirst.
First
and then she
episode-
then she's like, okay, let me just I'm gonna do this. Like, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a fish, but we can't just like eat it or drink it. So just I'm gonna fucking crush it, and then God, the plasma's gonna come out and we can drink that. And she one of her goes, I'm not doing that. Like, oh, okay, well then, fine, don't do it. And it's like, but I really need something to drink. Like, okay, we can fix that. So just lay down and close your eyes. The whole mother just walks over and takes off her pants. Like,
yeah,
it's
she
like,
just-
okay, here's
Oh my
here's
God.
coming. Open your mouth. Here's coming. And she pisses out. Oh, I missed.
it was so bad. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, but
I love
those are actual survival hints. If you are in a
It's tr-
dire situation, you need to drink your piss.
Yeah, no, the
So,
show
you know.
does give actual.
That is weird
tips.
because it's the same thing with Dumbbell. You know, when Hibik is like, why do we need to make this so sexual? It's like, they are actual survival tips, but the way they are put, it's just like, oh, why is this so highly sexual?
Yeah, no,
It's
other
not even the
people's
worst
piss
thing.
is, less
By
toxic
the
than
way,
your own.
it's not the worst thing. There's another kind of dehydration method you can do that involves a buddy of yours and your butthole. And they do that in the manga. So yeah,
Oh boy.
it is extremely good. Oh, I love that show. I love the manga.
Yeah, no. Who's best to go? For you?
Homari. What do you mean? Homari is the only one. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta
That's
agree with that.
yeah. Look, Homare, because you have Shion, which is the Ojo sama,
Yeah.
and and Mutsu, you know. Sports Girl is meh. Glasses Girl is fine as well because she's trying.
I
She's
like
trying
Glasses
so
Girl.
hard. Yeah, but Homare is just way too good. She doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, no, she's great. Like, I love the way she just instantly, like, she's just instantly at home in the environment. Like, she's just,
Oh yeah, and she's sleeping like, please, no more balls. Father, please, no more balls. And then it cuts to the dream. It's just her eating testicles out of a bowl.
oh yeah, that
or
was,
something.
that like actually made me cringe when that happened. I was like, oh my
I
god.
love it. It's
So
great.
good.
Yeah, no, it's really good
It's
though.
real food.
A lot of fun and not too long, so it's not even a big commitment.
All right. And that takes us into Tori's last one that no one's ever heard of and is probably not popular at all.
Yeah, this is definitely the more underground pick that I've ever done. It's a Wit Studio show called Vinland Saga. Not sure if you've ever heard of it. We did a...
Nah, we didn't cover that on a Manhwa check it at all either.
Yeah, that's kind of... I think it might have been discussed, but you can't just, nah.
Yeah. No one was really feeling it at all.
Yeah, you know how it is. It's directed by...
A lame Viking thing.
Well, you know what it is. Yeah, it's directed by Shoji Hata. The synopsis is, for 1,000 years, the Vikings have made quite a name and reputation for themselves as the strongest families, with a thirst for violence or whatever. Thorfinn,
Yeah,
the
yada
son
yada,
of
pillage, whatever.
Thorfinn, the son of one of the Vikings, greatest warriors, spends his boyhood in a battlefield, enhancing his skills in his adventure to redeem.
His dad dies, whatever. No one cares.
After his father's murder. Yeah, it's whatever. No, but seriously, it's an enjoyable show. It's fun.
It's pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah.
The manga's okay. It's one of those things like. It's definitely very slow paced. Like the manga
that was
itself,
expected.
Yes, the manga itself is fairly slow paced, but the anime kind of decided to skip like the first little bit of the manga and go right into like the not the backstory. Well, yes, the backstory part, and kind of take it from there. And it's been kind of slow going. Took like 4 episodes for the dad to get killed. Spoiler.
Well, it's interesting because the show was released with the first 4 episodes coming out all at the same time.
Yeah, they dropped
3.
them all
3.
right away.
So I think they knew that this is going to be a slow start, and here's all the episodes at once to kind of get you into it better. That's how I took it as.
Well, that's not what I take it as, because they didn't just front shelf for the first 3 episodes. They front shelved the first 3 episodes and then took the next 2 weeks off and then started episode 4. 3 weeks off, actually. So it's like they essentially did 2 weeks. They essentially did the same thing. It's like you get 4 episodes a week, but they gave you all 3 episodes at first. And most likely this was because of a tennis event. So
oh, okay. I thought it was like an actual strategy they were using.
Nope. Then they would have kept going after the 3 episodes. So it was more something they were forced to do.
Okay.
So
Okay, I
yeah,
didn't know that.
no, but it's an enjoyable show. If you like Vikings, don't watch.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Those
I mean, if you're an actual Viking like Tori,
show. Yeah.
are you also the son of Thorfinn?
I might be.
Might
There's
be.
a real chance. Actually, there's not a real chance. I have ancestry from Italy, sadly. But yeah,
Mussolini?
No, sure, definitely. No. We're from way further back than that. But anyways, yeah, no, like it's not. I will say I don't think this is for everyone. Mostly because not just because of violence and whatnot, but because it is one of those things like. You might expect like a really like strong action series was just balls to the wall. It's not. It's more methodical than that. It's It's more about like it's not trying to play into the whole like Vikings are badasses that murdered and raped every single day, and when they weren't, they were fucking their wives. It's like
We all know that's Hungarians. Come on.
No, that was also Vikings, but they don't do that.
No,
so it's
they were
mostly
just
like
a bunch of angry farmers. To be honest,
they were just a bunch of angry farmers who eventually got caught. Christianity be damned. Anyways, so it's how do I put it? It's like a revenge story in a lot of ways, but Vikings. So it's interesting. It's different. It's something you don't see every day. It's not like you don't go and look. Oh, what's the new Viking goodness this season? It's like I remember hearing about the manga and I was like, oh, there's this anime about Vikings, and I'm like, huh? No, that can't be true. That must be shitty. Like I'm sure they don't even understand anything about Viking history. And I picked up the manga and I'm like, oh, never mind. I was wrong.
I take this as in the same realm of an Arslan Senki.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, so definitely. If you're into revenge stories and you want something different, something that you don't see too often, Vikings.
Is
And
the
not
fetish in
fucking
this then
stupid-
revenge porn?
Yes.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Also, sisters.
Knew it.
Oh
Sisters as
boy.
Listen, this was a different time.
It's a different time.
Yeah, that's
In the long, long ago.
I'll be damned though. Helga's an attractive lady. Ilva, sorry. Helga.
Okay.
Fuck. That's the mother, isn't it? Sure.
Vinland Saga. I like it. I like it.
I liked it too.
For more MILFs in anime.
Hey, man, listen. She's also attractive, okay?
I know.
Shall the tagline of this episode be "What is your fetish"?
No.
Yes.
Seems to be
Especially when we talk about
the
Berserk.
hentai-casts. That's for the hentai casts, not regular
This
ones.
is-
We are just reporting on them, so the audience and ourselves can discuss new fetishes on the next hentai cast, which hopefully
What
will be
is
episode 69.
Fetish. All right. Note has been made. Okay, so I'll do the last one. It is a show called Fire Force by David Production. I know, it's not by JC Staff. What are the odds?
Is it JoJo's?
In the
It
show
is
with us.
not JoJo. Tokyo is burning, and citizens are mysteriously suffering from spontaneous human combustion throughout the city. So you know, Fridays. Responsible for snuffing out this inferno is the Fire Force. And Shinra is ready to join their fight, now as part of Company 8, not unlike Blue Submarine 6, am I right? Is my right, Tori? Mm-hmm. He'll use his Devil's Footprints, which is their fire ability.
Their stand ability?
Their stand ability, right. No, there's no supernatural being that's attached to them. It's their superpower that they call the Devil's Footprint. To help keep the city from turning to ash. But his past and a burning secret, see what they did there? Behind the scenes, could set everything ablaze. I also see what they did there. So a lot of fire talk, a lot of hot references they're making in the show. So I'm watching the show, and I'm watching episode 1, and I go, my God. This has reminded me of Soul Eater, and it's from everything, from the character designs to even the presentation. High-angle character shots with checkered floors for seemingly no reason. So I'm like, this is really bothering me. Like, I gotta look up who was the creator of this. And lo and behold, it is the creator of Soul Eater.
I'm actually surprised that you didn't know that going in.
I did not know that going in.
Because that was like printed everywhere. It's like, by the creator of Soul Eater.
Yeah, that was a...
comes Fire Force.
It was a big selling point that I kept seeing people bring up.
Yeah.
Well, contrary to thoughts, I do not partake in like the deep dives of the forums and the like anymore. So
Me neither.
I'm well out of the loop on those things. I just go, oh, this is coming out this season. I only have an anime podcast or whatever. Yeah.
I don't really care.
I don't really care.
Go back at
But,
the beginning of the episode where JD called himself a shonen whore, and he doesn't know where this is coming from. I like that you said
an old shonen whore.
people catching on fire spontaneous Friday, like your Friday, and I was like, me and Nate is like, oh, only Friday, come on. You mean every fucking
So this
day?
show, yeah. So this show is well animated. It's got a very unique presentation style, just like Soul Eater did. It focuses on this character Shinra, and he's got this, let's call it a tick, right? If someone makes him nervous or approaches him, or he comes into a situation that he's not comfortable with, he reacts with this smile. And he's got the shark teeth, and it comes off as kind of creepy and psychotic looking.
He also does it when he looks at people's breasts.
Well, he's obviously nervous and uncomfortable, so it matches the character.
Very.
Yeah. So, in Shinra's past, his family was burned alive. Did they come to spontaneous combustion, which is the thing setting the city ablaze? Who's to say? You're given that there's this sinister plot behind it, and however, everyone thinks Shinra did it. He couldn't control his ability, and he burned his family alive. So he's got quite the history. So he's put into this. He wants to be part of the Fire Force, which is they're firefighters. They dress in the firefighter gear, but they're a superhero force tasked with when people succumb to spontaneous combustion. They're basically possessed like a demon. A devil, if you will, and they have to fight them. Apparently, when you your powers are passed down through your family, whether it's, say that you're Gen 1 or Gen 2, your powers grow, and you have more control over them. So Shinra is a Gen 3, so he has full control over his powers. His power is he essentially has jetpacks in his feet, and he can fly really fast, he can run really fast because of this, etc., etc., while there's another person in the group, she's Gen 2, and she can't just have fire, she can't just produce it. Fire has to already exist, and then she can control it like telekinesis in a lot of ways. And Shinra also has a rival that joins into the Company 8, and he has a sword of sorts. So it's pretty cool, unique abilities of powers. And then there's Gen 1s who just have weapons that are provided by a company. And with this company, there's a hidden agenda behind it, political agenda within the Fire Force itself. What is the actual cause, perhaps, of why these people are succumbing to spontaneous combustion? In episode 3, you're introduced to this enemy as they're going through the rookie, not a tournament. It's a what would you call it? A competition, sports day, field day,
literally,
Athletics Carnival Day.
Yeah,
it literally is.
So there's a one-on-one battle. Him and his rival are battling. That you're introduced to a girl with cat abilities, because of course it is.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. And one thing that caught me by surprise was, I don't know why this stood out to me, was the girl with the pyro telekinetic ability. Telekinesis. She is well built. Like, she works out, and she has well-defined muscle structure, big shoulders, and she kicks the shit out of the rookies. Even though they have stronger powers, she has more control, and she has this hand-to-hand combat, which is through lots of training, which I don't know why that stood out to me so much, but it did. The whole presentation of the show, the way they focus on a lot of the characters, is very well done. If you are a fan of Soul Eater, you will like this show. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, basically. I mean, like, I think it's important, especially what you said there, because one thing that's important is, like, it needs to balance itself out, right? Like you said, Gen 1s, they have like almost no control over their powers. Gen 2s have more control. Gen 3s have full control. Obviously, that would put the problem of just Gen 3ers should be like the supreme, right? So in order to balance that out, they have to like make up a no, not necessarily, because stuff like combat experience, just generally being more physically fit. Other things matters. It's not just I have power, I win. But,
yeah, it was really cool, and when it had that whole sequence with the girl in the Company 8 just kicking the shit out of them, it I guess that's why it stood out to me. It balanced everything, right? It gave the whole show a much broader purpose. Where Shinra, yes, he does have a lot of power. However, he's a rookie, and with being a rookie, you're naive. You have a lot to learn. The list goes on, right? It's
literally that fight went like this. They're both only trying to rush her. No strategy, just get in her face. Doesn't work. When they get in her face, they have a little bit of a problem because, well, they're fighting a girl, so it's like, well, I can't use my power. I can't hurt you. And she just fucking kicks them right in the face.
Yeah, well, I mean,
too bad.
She's a former military personnel, so she knows her ways. I'd just like to point it out that what stood out to JD was the muscle structure in the woman. The fetish episode.
You would definitely like Dumbbell.
You'd love Dumbbell.
Well, no, it made it clear that she's clearly experienced, well built, strong in a lot of ways, and with the exception of the Dumbbell show that you guys are watching, never really see.
Yeah, no,
never. You don't see that in anime. Usually, women are portrayed in this skinny, dainty, let's call it weaker state, right?
Like even in anime where they like in the story they're meant to be like strong and buff, but they're never really drawn that way.
Then you have Black Lagoon, where they did both.
Right. Revi's well built in that case, but that's the outlier, right?
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So
like,
Fire Force does that.
No, but I mean, even I will say, even Fire Force kind of. I'm not going to give them all the credit for that because Fire Force does still fall into that other. Like I know it's a joke, but it does fall into that other trope. That's like you often see as like the gorilla women, like the fucking muscly. Like she's not that. She's not like Jormungand girl. Which is like another girl who's like fucking massively built. She's
her.
She's like a goddamn, she's cool, but she is a goddamn mountain of a woman, right? So it's like they kind of fall into that with her. Not that she's overly defined, but that they go like, ha, monkey, and then she gets pissed off, and it's like, funny slapstick comedy. Get it?
Well, yeah, that's where the Soul Eater humor comes in. I was like that. Yeah, when they started with the way they were presenting the humor. I go, that was another thing that just goes, that's just like Soul Eater, the bantering between them, you know.
I will say this. There's one thing I don't like, and that is way too often in this show do we get the punchline or joke or punchline or whatever happens. Something is said, then we get like the hold, then we get the cut to the other person, still frame of their face, generally fairly unresponsive, nothing said, cut again, back, keep going. I kind of don't like that. It creates this like awkward, like stuttering moment almost. It's like I get it. It's like it's supposed to be like more dry humor. It's like they don't find it funny. It's like whatever. Look at how bemused he is from this situation. But it becomes very in animation in particular. It becomes very awkward because it's just like okay, joke is said. Hold on, 1, 2, cut, still frame. No emotion, no response, no sound, don't say anything. 2, 3, 4, 5, cut back. Keep going. I don't like that. I really don't like that.
I guess that didn't stick out to me too much. But anyways, the first 3 episodes closes out the arc of setting up the story for the rest of the show. And much like how Danmachi Season 2 shows Freya and she's going to have her agenda, in this one, it makes it clear that, yes, there is something political afoot. A certain person's hiding something, probably regarding his past. It does a good job engrossing you into the wider range of the story and introducing a lot of the cast and characters, because there was a lot of characters that it was introducing to us. It wasn't necessarily to remember all their names. No, you will learn in time. So I really liked. This is probably my number 1 show of the season right now. Upon the initial impression, this show really, really impressed me, and I'm looking forward to more. And it's not by JC staff, so that's possibly a bigger a bigger bonus point for them.
The fire animation is nice. I like the way they animate the fire.
It's really cool.
It's not just like a red, yellow flame. Like it's moving. There's impact to it. It's sporadic. Like it's not. I like that. I like that they put in the effort, which is why I was kind of scared when the whole KyoAni fire happened, because they said they were going to censor the flames. And they kind of did. I'm glad they didn't go overboard with it. They toned down the fire effects.
Well, they also didn't air an episode for a week, right? They skipped a week.
Yes, they skipped 1 week and then they came back. And they but they said they would have to censor the flames, which had me really fucking scared. But what they did was instead of going like this blazing inferno, they toned down a little bit of the effects and they dimmed the lighting of the fire a little bit, so it's not supposed to look as cool anymore. Which is, it's slightly annoying in the sense that like I want it to be cool, and it's like I get it. It's a horrible disaster, but at the same time, it's like they're not related. I hope.
Yeah, it just felt like really bad timing that it aired this season. Like.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, especially because the next episode was the rookie games, and it basically is a bunch of people entering a building which is made to be a death trap,
Yeah.
and a guy enters there and say, "I'm gonna burn you guys alive." So
Yeah, it's very, very bad timing.
It's a bad timing situation. Now, I want to finish off this impressions with just one question. Ray, you're watching the show, right?
Fire Force?
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. Tori, I'll pose it towards you then.
Okay.
What did you think of the religious aspect of the show? Because in each Fire Force group, there's a nun, and it seems like her only job in this Fire Force is to pray for the victim.
So far. I mean, obviously, they kind of made it quite clear that religion is, like, very powerful in this one. It's up there with the fire brigades. It's kind of funny. It's one of the major powers as well. But like, until I see more of it, until we kind of get like more of why this thing become, I don't really see much. Like, it's mostly just, it's not annoying because it's not that big of a thing. It's just like before they put one of the infernals out of their misery, they kind of have to say a prayer. In general, that's what the nun is there for, to say the prayer while they fight, and then that's about it. Like, so yeah. I'm gonna reserve judgment, but she doesn't serve a purpose as of right now. Other than I'm the nun here.
It is more of a legitimation kind of thing. I don't agree with the boss of the brigade, the 8th brigade, where he says what we are doing is murder. I don't agree with that, but the nun being there and the prey is just like a legitimation kind of thing. Like, we are putting them out of their misery, so, at least we need to pray and things like that. It's okay. I think Fire Force is dumb. Be real with you. I think Soul Eater is dumb, and I think Fire Force, being the amalgamation of all the rejected ideas of Soul Eater, is also dumb. But I enjoy it, and definitely has my favorite ending of this season.
What?
Dude, the ending is really, really nice.
Yeah, but the ending to Vinland Saga.
I know.
We all know nobody likes Vinland Saga, Tori. Come on.
I know, but the ending is good.
I know it's good. It's just a style. I like the photograph.
Nobody likes Viking history and stuff. It's all about the Fire Force.
Hickey, I don't appreciate the fact that you like different things than me. That's unacceptable to me.
Okay.
You have to change your ways for the next cast.
Yeah,
all right.
I don't know about that.
All right, so that was the summer 2019 impressions. Please hit us all up on our social medias at BowlingJD, Retrocast, Tori RLR, Midas Hickey. There you go.
There's Zeta, which we don't know yet.
I don't have a Twitter.
Great.
Perfect.
Awesome. You don't need one.
It is a cesspool of violence and pain.
And video games.
And video games.
And a lot of wrestling. Wrestling Twitter is a thing.
I mean,
sadly.
Everything Twitter is a thing, really.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I will play a drop, and we can get on to the reason why we're kind of already here. Let's see here. Where is it? No, Kitty, get off the mic. Get off the mic table. Bad Kitty.
Perfect. What a drop.
What a drop.
Are you here because you're following the will of others? Or are you here on your own will?
Aira, you are the special guest. Let's get you some experience. Take us through the review of Berserk. Who made this? When to come out? Who's the director? All of the usual.
All right. So, Berserk this one is done by Studio OLM. It's directed by Naohito Takahashi, and it was released in the fall of 1997, which, funnily enough, is the year I was born. It's got
youngster.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, anyway,
no, don't worry about it. It's just a JD that is old. I'm 96, Tori's 95, so we're cool.
It's 25 episodes based on a manga that even now is still going because why write Berserk when you can Idol
Play
Master?
Idol Master. Yeah. Look, I cannot judge the guy. I'm a huge Idol Master fan. So hard.
I respect it. I just don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, I understand him because I too don't do my job to play Idol Master. So like, I understand.
You probably shouldn't say that publicly.
It's okay. It's okay. If my employer discovers this podcast, I'm fired anyway. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, he's not like you, Tori. He can get a job with just one application.
Yeah,
Damn.
that's what smart people do. I'm just a top scholar.
I'm just self-entitled top scholar.
Yep.
Is that on your resume, Tori? It's like,
should be.
I am Tori, top scholar, anime podcast host. Best host, by the way.
I've considered putting the podcast onto my resume before.
Yeah, but then they might actually listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's
then they
the
gotta go
problem.
listen to it.
I'll put my YouTube channel on. It's more kid friendly, I guess.
They will get.
Don't watch the Devilman episode. Ignore that one.
They will get the happy personality, Tori.
Yep,
Like,
that's right.
you might be awesome sales people, like salesperson with that tone.
Yeah, definitely. Anyways, keep going.
Yep. Okay, so the summary. Born beneath the gallows tree from which his dead mother hang, Guts has always existed on the boundary between life and death. After enduring a terrible childhood, he spends his adulthood in brutal combat, pitting his strength against others in order to build his own. Life is simple enough for Guts until he meets Griffith. God damn it, I knew I was going to stuff it up. Griffith, the inspirational, ambitious, and beautiful leader of the mercenaries, the Band of the Hawks. When Guts loses to Griffith in a duel, he is forced to join the group and, despite himself, finds a sense of camaraderie and belonging amongst them. However, as Griffith leads his soldiers from victory to victory, the bloody wars and underhanded politics reveal a side to him that nobody quite expected. Can Guts, a simple warrior, defend those who have come to mean the most to him, all the while struggling not to lose to the darkness he has carried with him his entire life?
Question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark, yes. It is a question.
Also, I just want to state, I think it's important to state that this is my first experience with Berserk in any way, shape, or form. I knew nothing before watching this.
Really? Not
Oh,
even
thank
the
God.
manga. Like, I
Yeah,
have an interesting... Like, I talked about it. I love the manga.
No way.
The Brazilian version of the manga is very, very fucked. Because they changed the format, and because of that, we have, like, the original release has 20 more volumes or something like that than the original. Because they cut and paste, like, volumes together, so they would make them smaller. So it's fucked. Like, I think the original one has, like, 30 volumes already, 20 something. The Brazilian one has 60, 55, 60 volumes. The first release.
Wild.
Jesus.
I don't know who made that decision. I just remember, like, going to newspaper sellers where I would buy manga and seeing, like, new Berserk volume 40, and I would just go to the internet and it was like volume 20 in Japan. I was like, what the fuck is going on? There's something really wrong with this.
Listen, man, paper's expensive.
Paper's expensive. No, I guess. But it's interesting because Berserk is the manga. It's such a good story that really deserved more love, and not knowing anything about it except that Kentaro Miura really loves Idolmaster.
Yeah, I know that.
It is interesting. I think I've never heard anyone say, of course, like anyone who watches anime say something like that. Which actually very interesting. And your first experience was with the 1997 anime. Oof.
Yeah, like
Don't worry.
It could be.
It was
could,
also
like,
my
it's-
first experience. I watched the
Right.
anime way before I even knew, basically, manga existed.
I knew the manga existed, but I'd never read it. So 97 version was my first experience as well. I mean, like, it's if you're gonna experience Berserk in anime form, you do yourself a favor by watching the 97 version, and then you
And then the movies from
absolutely
2006.
erase for you. Absolutely refuse to accept anyone saying that there was ever a anime adaptation that came out in 2016 or 2017. They're not real. They're crazy. They don't know what you're talking about. It's not real. It never happened. You can't prove it.
Yeah, well, I mean, can we just start by looking at the opening lyrics? Because they make zero...
Tell me why.
They make
Put my
zero fucking
glasses on.
sense. I was like, wow, you know what's
Where
fucked?
belong.
There's a
love
line...
this opening. I love it.
There's a verse that says, "Even mother will show you another way," and at that exact moment, it shows the hanging, the bodies
it
hanging
shows
out
the
of the
fucking
tree.
tree
When, I
hanging
was like,
from-
dude, don't do that. That's fucked up. Holy shit! But
You're watching Berserk now.
like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I
Oh.
love this opening. I don't even care.
I love that
fucking
you like.
love it.
It's a great
I
opening.
haven't skipped once.
Yeah,
But
no,
it
I
still
never
doesn't
skipped.
make any sense. The lyrics are just, what the fuck is this guy talking about?
Hickey, I just think you never put your glasses on.
Yeah, and because of that, everything went wonk.
That's a good thing. Before each episode, the OP of whatever show we review is the intro song, so people heard it and are listening.
Oh my god, the lyrics.
Greatest English opening ever.
Oh, I love it so much.
Ooh, yeah, it's Berserk is it's got a lot of good music, honestly. There's even the what's his fucking name? It was I hate this. I clicked on the wrong thing. I clicked on the thing that doesn't exist.
Well, while you're thinking of that, Studio OLM is also the one that does Pokemon,
Yes, or you have
and
Light Magic.
the same director, Nahitu Takashi, did the infamous show we reviewed called Two Heart.
How dare you call it infamous? Too
What do you
hard
mean?
is...
It literally is.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's good, but infamous. Come
It
on.
is infamous. It's based on the first ever fucking erotic, proper erotic visual novel.
No, it's
the first
not.
thing to be coined. Yes, it is. Two Heart, the visual novel of Two Heart, was the first thing to be called a visual novel.
Yes, I've heard of this, but I
No.
haven't actually seen it.
Yes.
No, I played.
Before
I
that, you had
played both
sound
games.
novels.
I played both Two Heart games. They're great. Doesn't make any sense where you go because there's 14 girls you can end up with. So you're just making choices and you're aiming at one girl and suddenly you just finish with another. It doesn't make any sense. The show
Well,
is...
then the director had quite the task because Guts only ended up with maybe one girl, or at least he wants to.
That didn't go as planned.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyways, what I was saying earlier
Tadako was
was
planned.
the music is good. The music is done by, they got Susumi Hirasawa to do the music. He does a lot of the vocal stuff, and for this music, he's honestly very little, not very much involved with anime at all. But he's done a couple of things. Generally, he has worked together with Satoshi Kon, and that's about it. But he decided to provide his vocals for Berserk, and it makes for some really, really good music. Some really
Something is fucked again. Let's wait. What? Ada?
Yeah, it is. I recovered it fine, it looks like. I just started recording again.
Hold on.
that's
So, yeah. How do you guys think about, well, the biggest part of the show, which is animation? You know, Berserk, when it comes to anime adaptation, it always lacks a lot of love. Especially because there's such a big follower behind it. Like JoJo and Shonen, but they always get love. Berserk, for some reason, doesn't get any. And which is very sad because for a animated show, you know, you always hear that the animation is very bad in Berserk. I disagree. I think the animation is fine. The problem is, you don't have that much animation.
See, here's why I disagree with you. Let me do a little reenactment of what a typical battle scene in Berserk looks like. Close up of the fighters, usually both of them, usually separate, sometimes together. Then they then they put their swords together. Then they draw them back. Then we get close. Then they swing. You get part of the swing. Then we get close up of sword. Swing continues out of frame. You hear a clang. Zoom out. You see they have struck their swords together. Repeat. And I fucking hate this. It is the worst when you're trying to get fucking absorbed into the fights going on, into these quote-unquote badass fights of absolute massive destruction, and all you see is, hey, Guts killed someone. wonder what happened. He probably sliced them. Not that you could see.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He just slices them. Ugh. Like, which is... Go on.
You go.
No, please.
No, you go.
I mean,
okay. Well, I was...
God damn it.
I was just gonna say...
That reminds me of the beginning of the podcast. That would happen a lot.
I was just gonna say, I agree with you in the terms of, I would say, I don't think the animation's bad. I think it's fine. But I do also get what Tori's saying, that a lot of the fight scenes play out the same way. And there's not much... And there's a lot of, like... You got a shot of the body, and then you just see, like... It opens up and blood starts spurting out, and it just, like, does a simple pan where the body moves to one side, Guts moves to the other, and his sword's already, like, gone through. They do that a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, like, I think the thing that bothers me most is just the fact that, like, a lot of people will give this one, the animation a pass because, well, it's the 90s. And that bothers me, especially because, as we have witnessed many times, even on this podcast, from shows that are older than 90s, they could animate back in the day, too! Animation is not something that only got good in fucking 2017.
Don't say
yeah,
that.
Berserk
Berserk came out in 2017 and it wasn't.
Shut up! That didn't happen. I just told you it's not real. Fuck you.
Like, we're talking about things that annoy me. It is something I didn't realize when I was reading the manga. Probably because the manga is way better and I was far invested. But no one uses chainmail in this anime. So sometimes they're just randomly hit by an arrow, and I was like, oh, that's okay, they're using chainmail. Chainmail is done to stop those kind of arrows. Nope. It goes straight through. I was like, oh, no one actually uses chainmail. Like when Casca goes around hitting like vital points in people, like the neck, behind the, like, between plates in the armor, I'm like, why are those people not using chainmail? Chainmail is the most basic kind of armor in that kind of period, and that annoyed me so much.
Well, this isn't truly in that period.
I know, but come on, JD, it's fucking chainmail. It's like,
listen, ain't nobody got time for chainmail.
Yeah, it's like,
everyone,
for medieval standards, if you're using,
it just wasn't invented for this world.
If you're using, if you're using plates and no chainmail, is kind of like being inside of an armored car, but naked.
Perfect.
So, like,
armor.
That is a very interesting analogy.
We're all naked inside of our clothes, Hickey.
I mean, they got naked a few times.
Oh, they got naked, alright.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't know, but honestly, all you just need though is a breastplate, and you're good. Who cares about the rest of the body?
Guts
Yeah, everyone
doesn't.
just kind of just has big metal on them.
Guts cares not for anything. Okay, he doesn't even care for his own life. He's just like, I could go and slaughter people. Hell yeah.
Oh no, I'll die. I'm bleeding out. 4 episodes later, he's still bleeding out, killing a bunch of people. Completely okay. It's like, yeah, I doubt that you're gonna die, buddy.
To steal the joke. Griffiths, the master tactician. Guts, go and kill all those people. Guts returns. I killed all those people. I'm a master statistician.
Yeah.
It's funny, honestly. It's Griffiths made them win all those fights. Excuse me, what about the guy who literally slaughtered entire armies? I guess it doesn't matter.
Okay, so I think we're getting across our feelings over the medieval fantasy world that this is placed into. Hickey doesn't like the fact they didn't use chainmail. I thought it was interesting, watching this again for probably my 4th time, and now that I've read the manga, so this is the first time I've seen this 97 show after having read the manga. It kind of gave me a little bit more perspective that I didn't really realize any time watching this, is how much they emphasize kind of hiding the fact that there is magic and supernatural creatures in this world. During the show, it just seems like your medieval fantasy world, right?
Well,
where
yes,
it's just
that's because
just human.
That's because that's the Golden Age arc they're showing. The Golden Age
Right,
arc
I realize that.
is not dark fantasy. The dark fantasy.
There's a hint of the dark fantasy where it shows this creepy egg that Griffith has, and you go, well, that's weird.
Yes.
But the show focuses in on it and gives it this evil aura, and you go, what does that mean exactly? There's a lot of hints in the show.
Yes. The biggest hint of all
you're like, what?
is the demon guy. I forgot. Zord.
Zord,
yes.
yeah.
But like at that arc is just fantasy is not the focus. Fantasy comes at the beginning of the manga, as an introduction.
Well, there is the first episode where it's actually the last episode. You're really jarred. You go, well, okay, that's really odd. And it jumps into Guts as a child, does all that rigmarole about Guts's horrid past. So it teases you that, yes, indeed, this dark fantasy world with magic and creatures and stuff does exist, but you wouldn't know it without that episode. So it constantly hints at you that there is something sinister that's going to happen, but you don't know when. And that's very different than what you experience in the manga, right?
I don't know. Doesn't the manga starts with Guts fucking a woman, it becomes a demon, and then he keeps fucking her and then blows her head while fucking her? Isn't that like literally the first chapter of the manga?
It's been a while.
I might be wrong, but I remember that happening.
Oh gee, I wonder why you remember that.
Because like I think
we discovered one of Hickey's fetishes.
The Monster Girls, yes, it's been out there for a while. The first chapter is Guts already in the dark fantasy going to a kingdom to kill the king, which is a demon. After that arc, it starts the Golden Age.
Yeah, there is that one in the manga. You're right. Yes.
Yeah. Then it starts the Golden Age, which doesn't have its way too extreme. It has the hints of magic, especially with Zord, which is a great character. Just like him. Oh, this human can survive my blows. Time to have some fun. They cut it off a few things. You know, Guts getting raped.
An anime adaptation?
Yeah.
Never.
They cut it. Guts getting raped as a child and
listen,
trying to kill Casca as they were trying to fuck each other. That in the
Yeah, but
that in the manga
you
is
they don't
nice.
need to show it. You do know that happens.
No,
though.
No, I need to see it.
You need to
please,
see the story.
Please give me the full detail, thank you.
I thought Hickey was the one watching the molestation porn. All right.
no, it's the character in Arafuru, not me. I don't like molestation porn. I'm not Japanese.
Sure. Sure, right.
Invoking stereotypes. Here we are. Okay. So I know what you mean about the animation part, Tori, with the whole, what would you call it? Stop sign animation. It's kind of what I've nicked.
I would call it just cutting it out. Just be like, we're only going to animate a little bit of a portion of this, so let's just.
Well, I don't know why I coin it stop sign animation. It's instead of showing the action sequences, it just cuts, right?
Well, I mean,
and it
like,
freeze frames into this. You know what we did see it a lot in? We saw it in the Dungeons and Dragons anime.
We saw, yeah, but not even. I'm not even just going to say this is not just like a product of its time. It still happens. We get that a lot now as well. Even some of the, like, if you look at My Hero Academia, some of the less important, worse animated fights in My Hero Academia, oftentimes there's no like extreme close up, which is kind of the modern way of doing it, where it's just like, you know he's going to punch him, but your camera's just fucking pressed up against the main character's face. So you're not actually going to see the punch, you're just going to see his determination. And then they'll cut out and you'll be able to see he punched him. It's like,
there is a sort of...
This is essentially like, this is Berserk, this is a 90s version of that. It's just like, see, you get to see him swing the sword, you just don't get to see the follow through. You know what he's doing, but you don't get to see it.
It's kind of like working around your boundaries of budget and skill for everything, and how much technology, I guess, OLM had at the time. And how much people were devoted, because at the same time Pokemon was going on, right? Yeah. So
yeah, they would have started around the same time.
Yeah, so I would or did Pokemon come out a year later, something like that?
Didn't it start?
Oh, no, yeah, I think the Pokemon anime was 98. It started
something like that. But anyways, regardless,
this well animated either.
This show, upon a little, I ended up finding this upon a little research, that apparently they had a very undersized staff. The show came on TV at like 3:30 in the morning in Japan, just so it'd get on TV. So it did not have a lot of resources.
No,
so,
doesn't have love. Berserk never gets love.
It's very strange considering how popular the manga is.
Yes, no one can understand that. Like that's the main question to why, like, there's so little love to it.
I just think
since like the mid 2000s when the big hiatus started. It's like no one can understand. I just think it has to do
with like anime laws and like what you can and can't show on TV in good faith versus, manga, because manga is way more lax about that stuff. They're like, just don't go too overboard. And then Kentaro was like, what's too overboard? And then they're like, nothing crazy. And he's like, sure, I won't do anything crazy. Let's see, bestiality, rape, gruesome murders, pedophilia, gay sex. Too much?
Just kind of checking off the boxes. What am I leaving out here? BDSM? I'm sure we could slip that in somewhere.
Self-flagellation? Oh, hell yeah, come on. I love that. I love that part. I am not believing enough in my god.
I think that's Leah. But,
that is not from the 97 version.
No.
Still, I love that. I love that.
That's when
the rape horse is also not from the 97 version.
That's when the rapist horse appears. The manga is so good. An anime adaptation would already be downsized. The manga has a Kentaro Miura style. It's very good to portray movement, for example. So when you read in the manga, it feels alive. You can feel the movement. You can feel the weight of things. So to animate that would need such a good, big, and expensive staff. So downsizing and downgrading is already a plan. I guess everyone who likes Berserk understands that's a thing in the anime. Unfortunately, they went some way it's not even worth talking about.
Yeah.
But
No, I mean,
still, you compare to other shows from the same time, and which have such a big following, and see the
I
anime
think
of
Vision
them.
of Escaflowne is a good one to compare to, because it came out around the same time. It has a fantastical feeling and art style to it all, and character art. Yeah, it's shoujo, and this is well, I guess this is shoujo in a way as well.
according to Miura, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, but he's a weird guy, you know.
I understand him. I don't agree that it's shoujo, but I understand what he means.
Yeah, he
I
explains
think-
why he thinks it's a shoujo. It's more about
Yeah.
like the feeling behind it and things like that.
Yeah, more feelings rather than reason, which is, men, they don't care about feelings, they only care about reasoning. So therefore he thinks it's more shoujo. Again, I disagree with him, but I get the reasoning. It is general. I do agree that I do think that men value reasoning more than feelings most of the time. It's like, I don't care about what they felt, I want to know why.
So this is weird upon watching this again, and now that I have a much more retro experience, I've watched a lot more shows pre-2000 at this point compared to the last time I watched Berserk, and the animation and art doesn't bother me. However,
Bothers me.
this does give me the feeling of a show that came out in like the early 80s. Take Dunbine, for example. And even then, Dunbine
it
looks better.
No, I'll disagree.
No,
I think it looks better.
I'll
I think
I'll
the color.
disagree.
I think the color and character art looks better compared to Berserk '97. But I would put it in that time frame,
Yes.
that early '80s.
I disagree with you that the Dunbine looks better. I think Dunbine has more animation than Berserk, that's for sure.
Well, yeah.
I still think Berserk looks a little bit better with character models and things like that. There's a few more advanced techniques, and I'll put
Sure.
mid to late 80s. Like 86, 87.
So you'll
Like 10
put it a
years-
few years later.
Yeah, 10
than
years
where I'm
before,
putting it.
like 10 years prior to 97, the actual date, I can understand the Dunbine comparison.
Okay.
I still think Dunbine is worst.
I definitely
the
think
Mets
that when
in
it comes
Dunbine
to...
don't have seatbelts. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
no,
like,
they're...
it's
Like, when
another
it comes to
level.
character designs...
Yeah,
when it comes
I'm
to
upset
character
about the
designs-
seatbelts in Dunbine, and Hickey's all upset about the chainmail lack in Berserk.
But when it comes to characters, I agree with Hickey. Character designs in Berserk are better than character designs in Dunbine. I think character designs in Dunbine are very... they got a lot of that spacey look going, fucking...
Okay.
Not properly colored in eyes, kind of not centered, kind of just looking all goofy like and stuff like. I feel like a lot of the time in Berserk, even the anime, the designs of the characters are better. Yes, I know people like to be like, oh, it's not as good as the manga, but it's never going to be. And I think that's not just something that Berserk fans has to kind of get used to if it comes to a anime adaptation, but like. You're never going to get an anime adaptation in which Kentaro Miura's designs are animated. He is way too good of an artist, and those things, at full detail, would never animate. Not a chance. Not in 2D, Hickey. You cannot animate that shit in 2D.
I know.
We've seen what happens.
I know.
I've seen what happens when a character is wearing a studded belt and has to animate. Those studs, they go all over the place. They don't look like studs anymore. They just become grey blobs of nothing. And then disappear eventually. It's awful. You can't do that.
Yeah,
it's too much detail.
Yes. I completely agree. It was I was talking before. Downgrading is expected.
Although, well, as someone who hasn't experienced Berserk at all, I would say it got me... Like, it made me interested in wanting to look at the manga. And so at least it does do that well... As someone who, like, had no experience. Like, I do really want to check it out now, the manga.
Oh yeah,
I would too, but it's not finished and it's
but you can
kinda.
get 80 80? No, more than 80 chapters.
Listen.
100 something chapters?
Listen, Hickey.
The
There's
good thing,
a lot of Berserk available, but that's not the problem. The problem is I don't want to end up in a position like a lot of you have been through, where it's like, oh, I love this thing, but it doesn't continue. God damn you, Miura, stop playing Idolmaster.
Yeah. Like, it's interesting because the hiatus, usually, like, after 2000... after 2004, which is the first year the Idolmaster got released for arcade and original Xbox. After 2004, the hiatus, they match Idolmaster releases.
Oh my god.
So like, with a few weeks, sometimes a month of difference. So it's good thing is it's coming back from hiatus at the end of August. But the good thing is,
oh, so they say,
Ada, if you're interested, like you said in the manga, even with the hiatus, it's very, very good to read the manga, because when you're not having releases, you still have a huge community that likes Berserk and likes to talk about Berserk. So much, if you go on the internet, if you go on YouTube, you have multiple videos talking about not only the story, making reviews of the story, but also analyzing, for example, the psychological side of things. For example, Tori. Sorry,
yes,
I was thinking about people with mental disease, and it defaulted to Tori. Guts now, he's old. He's like around 40 years old. He has a body now, and he's questioning if the revenge is even worth anymore. If getting Casca back to normal is even the right thing to do, because how will she react after all those years, right? So there's a lot of the psychological part that people really love to talk about and analyze for years and years and years until a new chapter is out. So even that, the community makes worth, in my opinion, reading Berserk, even though you probably die and never see the ending of it. Very much like Hunter x Hunter, which is basically the same thing. Where the
no, man, that's totally different. He has back pain.
Yeah.
But also, just to kind of explain the whole Idolmaster thing, it's not actually guaranteed that it is Idolmaster. It's a conspiracy and a joke that's thought up, because Kentaro Miura did something stupid. He made an interview with a magazine after releasing a new chapter of, it might have been a volume actually, of Berserk. And he kind of did the interview, and they were asking him a bunch of questions, like hobbies and whatnot. I think he said that he'd gone out, like, at request of friends, he'd gone out and to pick up a game, and he decided to try out this Idolmaster thing. Didn't know much about it, didn't really seem like his thing, but hey, his friend said he would enjoy it, so he decided to do that. And then the hiatus started.
Yeah.
So therefore everyone's just like, yep, Idolmaster took him too.
Yeah. I mean, again, it matches the dates.
It does, that's the problem. But he claims that's not the case. He says it's not because of that. So I feel like I have to believe him, but at the same time, is it too much of a coincidence?
Oh man. But he's still very good. It's unfortunate that Berserk anime doesn't get any love.
Yeah.
It's still with the hiatus. I think it's worth reading the manga because you can interact with the community, which is full of psychologists and other people like really interested in the side effects of being part of that story that you follow for. It started in 89, so 30 years now. Although 80 years of that were of a hiatus. So let's take all the hiatus out. 19 years for the past 19 years. You've been following that and seeing the develop of the psychological side of the characters. Really, really interesting.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk to weebs.
So here's a question I'm going to pose to everybody, and I'll start with Aira. Since this is your first time diving into Berserk, and we've talked about the animation and the difference in art style behind the manga and the anime here, and I know you're not familiar with the manga, the art style and presentation, was that enough to... Was it done in a way to still engross you in the story that was happening and the characters and the lack of animation in a show that's very action oriented?
It was enough, but well, here's the thing. I definitely was invested in the story and everything that was happening throughout. But I feel like that was mainly because of everything else, like the writing and the characters and all that. And the animation was good enough that it didn't detract from it, but I did notice, like, you know, like the still frames, like even before I saw the stuff we were going to talk about in this episode, like I have a note that's like, whoa, there's a lot of still frames in this. And I did notice reused animation and the same kind of animations being used in different fights and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that. But I'm glad I have the same opinion that it doesn't, even though it is all there and it is noticeable. I think with everything else the show does, it saves it from that, despite its negative. Tori, what is your opinion on this?
Like I said, the lack of animation really does bother me.
Okay.
I kind of disagree with the whole, like, it's the whole action oriented, because, like, yes, there's action in Berserk, but it's not entirely action oriented. There are lengthy periods of time without action. So there are multiple layers to Berserk to take into consideration. And again, the writing is, for what it's worth, it's still pretty good. Although I do think that, especially in the anime, I do feel like there are certain things that kind of drag a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I know I wasn't entirely invested in the anime until the second half of it. The first half was kind of just like, no, all right, it's I like it, but it's a little bit too slow for my taste. And then the second half happens and shit starts to go down, and then, you know, the end happens, and I'm like, that's okay. And then, of course, I'm told afterwards, like, yeah, that's just the beginning. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? There's more. It continues.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up, because this show, I have a short list of the most what the fuck endings to an anime I've seen. And this show's right at the top of the list, right there with Evangelion. So, you go, when I didn't know that this is based on a manga and the story continues, I thought just everyone fucking dies. Period. You know, Kasuke gets demon raped, essentially, to a comatose state, if you will. All of Guts' Band of the Hawk friends are all dead, thanks to Griffith. And Guts he's lost an arm, and he's on his final stand, and he's gonna fight till he dies. That's what I thought. That's how I thought the ending went, and because there was just little hints of supernatural forces afoot here, I just went, okay, there's demons and shit now. I got that there was Zorg, or Zoltak, or whatever his name is, right? Big Minotaur guy. Mm. And I thought that was kind of the most fantasy that this was going to get. That was when I first watched the show many, many, many years ago. Now knowing that, now having read past it, and how it's just this self-contained arc, and the balls of the show to end it at such a point, it really makes me disappointed that OLM didn't continue this series, right?
Yeah, we didn't have the chance to see the best character of all, the school night. But yeah,
it's a school night. Yeah,
it is a very unfortunate way to end. Like for everything,
it's parts, like the ultimate cliffhanger.
Yeah, the parts that would cut it off. There's a bat hitting my window. The parts that are cut it off, the way it was animated, the ending, it's maybe it can make you check out the manga if you never heard of it, but might give you a false impression of what you are, expected to find in the manga, especially if you skip the beginning and go straight up to that ending, which a bunch of people do. I know some people do that. If
I hate people who do that. Don't skip ahead in your manga.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do that if someone who I trust say no, that's page to page. I was like, okay, so I check the beginning, and if I see if it's really page to page, I don't see a reason to not skip. But that's rare. It can give you, but again, the Berserk 1997 can give you a false impression to what the manga actually is and what it actually stands for.
I got another question I want to pose, and I'm gonna have Era. You're gonna answer this first.
Right.
I want to know what you think of the character development behind Griffith, Guts, and even Casca. Like, whether it's their ambitions, their goals, how Guts starts out as this kind of archetype, stereotype character, and then how do you think all these characters, the three main characters, develop as the story goes on?
I actually really like it. I like for all three of them. I enjoy what they go through and where they end up.
You sick person.
No, but I feel like Griffith, apart from like getting completely destroyed at the end, doesn't actually change too much. But the way you discover what he's really like, I found really interesting. Like at the start, I'm like, oh yeah, he's a good warrior, and he's like this pretty boy. But then when he started doing all this crazy like political maneuvers and killing people off, I was like, holy shit, this guy's like way more powerful and way more scary than I initially thought. And I enjoy the way Guts and Casca's relationship develops. I think it's fairly realistic in terms of what anime usually gives us. Like, usually, oh, the chick hates you and now she loves you because she does, I guess.
You are the main character. And
yeah, but
your dick spurs Nutella out of it.
But yeah.
Look, just saying, that would make everyone love you. Man or woman.
That's true. I don't know, man. I feel like they should have got together, then they should have held hands once, and then they should have blushed and be like, oh my
Disgusting.
God.
I mean, Guts tries to kill her when they're having sex one time.
Yeah.
They didn't show
it
that.
Happens. It happened. They don't show it enough.
Yeah, no.
There's a slight hint, but I think again it's one of those like, you can't do that. That's a crime, and I'm like, as opposed to everything else.
No, yeah, because they don't commit crimes anywhere else.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, but I just thought it was because Casca, like, there's the whole like in the 100-man arc where it's just that slow development, and then even for a while she's still like fairly evasive, and it takes time for her to even realize that feeling is there. And that it's Guts that she likes now and no longer Griffith. And so I liked that. I liked that it was slow and more realistic.
It felt organic.
Yeah, it did. I think it did, especially when most anime completely fails to make it feel organic. And, yeah.
What was everyone's favorite arc in the show? Because I feel it comes down to three. It comes down to the 100-man arc, where Guts systematically bleeds out while killing 100 dudes all in one battle. It comes down to the Zorg encounter, or Zoltak, or evil Minotaur. And then the systematic point of insanity for Griffith, and where that leads, the final arc of the show. Those are my three that I think stand out among the others. I think the 100-man arc is the most fun and interesting in this 25-episode show. What about you, Aira?
Yeah, I agree. I really like the 100-man arc. Even if you... I don't know if, like, the episodes before, when Guts and Casca are together, counts, but I like that part, too, that leads into it, and then the 100-man arc, like, that... Like, the action is as poor as it is in any part of the show, but I just love seeing it. I love seeing, like, the way Guts just doesn't care. It's like it's literally like he's indestructible. He just destroys so many people, and the whole time he's, like, meant to be damaged, but it's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He still kills everyone.
How about yourself, Hickey?
I would say when Guts leaves, it's right at the beginning of Griffith losing it, where he goes and have sex with the princess.
So that's yours, yes.
Yes, but like after that, when he goes training, and he's just like cutting in the like, oh my god, that scene is so ridiculous. He's under the waterfall, cutting in half like tree trunks with his sword, and then you have the news. He receives the news that what happened to Griffith, and then like when they go to save him, and you see his state, and you compare that state to what he was before, and it is shocking. Right? He doesn't walk anymore. He can't even control his
his tongue's
needs.
been ripped out.
Yeah, he can even
cut.
Yeah, it's, and you see that thing, and you remember how he was, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
It's fucked, and I love that. Love that arc. It's the beginning of the end. And a very, very, very long end who's been ending for the past 2 decades.
Tori?
Yeah, I was definitely going to say the final arc, but I do actually agree with Hickey. That is the start of it. Like I do like the final arc, but that's start to that whole thing, especially like because, like Hickey said as well, it's just Griffith represents strength, like or not just strength, like Guts represents strength, but
strength and
Griffith,
beauty. Oh, that
Might.
yeah,
hair.
but he represents
the way it
Mike,
flows in the
smarts.
wind, and everyone looks at him with those dreamy eyes.
But-
I'm sorry. I'm Tori. You were saying something?
Yeah, he represents smarts. He represents so many things. It's like you just think that like, he is an indestructible commander. He orders Guts to kill everything, and then he wins. And haha, I'm strong. But
Takes
it's
all the credit.
just, of course he does. But like, so it's like you just think there's like his ambition is unmatched. He's never going to be stopped until he's achieved his glory, and then, whoa, he has been reduced to a state in which he can no longer speak, walk, or
Keep
barely
shitting
even
himself.
live. Yeah,
He's
it's
a
like
skelly man.
It's like it's one of those like the fact that they're keeping him alive is cruel. Yeah, and then it all develops into fucking his awakening, and just oh my god, and then I can't help it. I just, even though it's not the 97 Berserk, but the movies they made of this as well. All I can think of is when all the shit goes down, and then
I've never seen those
finally,
movies.
me neither, but I've seen one scene, and that is when Casca gets raped again, and I just can't get away from that thing where he's doing all those things to her, and you get to see it all, what he's doing, and constantly in the entire time he's just looking Griffith directly in the eye, like, yeah, this is what, it's so fucking, oh my god,
yeah.
that is so
He
funny. He
did
stares at
nothing
him so
wrong.
intently. Griffith did nothing wrong.
Griffith did nothing. Griffith did nothing wrong.
Yeah, but just the imagery.
Made the deal
as well,
with
like,
the 12 devils or whatever they're called.
Yeah, but like just the imagery
the hand
as well.
of God.
Like
That
when fucking Griffiths is
that
there.
Maradona reference
laying-
in the
Damn it, Icky. when he's laying there, fucking like having that moment where it's like he's, his ambition is going further beyond him, and it's just like he needs to, the whole like what he's been doing, how he's been stepping on people's corpses to get to his dream, and then all that shit. Oh, That is like that to me is just like when Berserk finally hits it. Up until that, it's been a little bit of slow parts, some stuff that I didn't really care for, some stuff that was interesting, but not all that much. And then all this shit starts happening. It's just like, Jesus fucking Christ, they just they start hitting nail on the head. It's like it's almost like it all built up to this. And then it
I
turns out
do
that
love
actually
the ending.
it built up to more than that. What we're seeing is still part of the build up.
So last question. And this is kind of more of a retrospective of anything. It's okay, so Studio OLM made this, well, let's call it what it is, a very, very low-budgeted 15-year late type show in 1997. Do we all agree it was entertaining?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, follow-up question then is, now we've seen the result of the show continuing from Studio Millipedes. That didn't exist, right, Tori?
Yep.
Would it have been acceptable in 2017 or 2015? When did the
2016 was the
2016? Would it have been acceptable to have animation that was 15 years behind continue where the show left off, if it was in the realm of what we saw here?
If we're talking
I mean,
still the same thing as 97 Berserk?
Yeah, kinda. Let's okay, so 97 Berserk looks like something that came from the mid-80s. Let's put it that time frame. Okay.
If you're suggesting Berserk looking like fucking mid to early 2000s, then absolutely
Yes.
no. I don't want that Moe style anywhere near my fucking anime.
Well,
get that out of here.
there were non-moe style shows that did come out during that time, but
Not that many.
like right, they're few and far between. But we still have things like Full Metal Panic and whatever.
I'm just God damn it! Now I'm just picturing Berserk looking like Saikano. No, I want this.
Dude. Second was fine.
Fuck you.
With the advancement of technology and techniques and the way anime's developed, and
alright,
not going in the CG, would it have been acceptable?
Kind of. No. It would have CG. Like, no way.
Yeah.
You know, for the battles, even Guts going around, swinging his sword, it would be CG. If the walking and interactions were 2D, I think it would be better. But once save it, it would be slightly better. Let's put it like that, because it's still most of the action would be CG. Probably we won't have today's CG or 2017 CG, which is the cutting corners of the corner cutting technique. Really, really low budget.
Isn't that kind of what they do here, though?
Yes, I understand, but you know, we would have kind of the cutting corner CG who wasn't having its corners cut, right? So maybe a slightly better CG, but it's still the pain, like the little. There's many things that are bad in the 2017. It's not only the CG. You have the voice acting. You have the music, the sound effects.
The frying pan sword.
Horrid.
Ding.
Yeah, the sound effects are just horrid. So it's further than the animation. I think it would be slightly better with 2D animation when they weren't in action, but I think it will be very close to a worse Overlord Season 3 with the Skeleton Army CG thing.
What about a show like Arslan Senki that we saw?
I haven't seen Arslan Senki.
Okay.
I don't care about it either, to be honest. I've gone on a limb before, and I've said this before. I really don't want more Berserk. I don't think it would do well as an anime. I think there's too much getting in the way for getting a proper anime adaptation. I think there's too much that has to be cut. I think there's too many problems with animation. I think there's too much. There's way more to be lost from having an anime adaptation of Berserk than there is to be gained.
Because I could totally see someone like JC Staff with the way they cut corners and their style, and then they develop the continuation of this instead of what we saw from Millipenes. I can see that happening. That is just unacceptable to you guys. I mean, you said no to both, so
yeah. But here's the thing: knowing JC Staff likes to put some work in when it comes to sequels to their own shows. When JC Staff gets a sequel to something that didn't belong to them, they basically put like 3 people on it.
Well, I just use them as an example in their style.
I know,
and how they approach things. So,
but I just don't see a way in which it would be
acceptable.
Not acceptable. Yeah, but
would
like,
Toei be more acceptable? I mean, they're pretty cheap.
Fuck no.
Maybe David Productions. Maybe.
Well, David Production does a phenomenal job in their own style, like with JoJo and whatnot.
Wit Studio.
Well, I mean, they have the slave.
Wit Studio, it would never come out.
Yeah.
No, but I mean,
It's like, I understand. It's not acceptable, but a very close to acceptance. It doesn't matter anymore.
Okay. Too much time has passed.
Yeah, it really. But again, it all just comes down to the same question for me every time. Is it worth it? Do you want, like, let's put it this way. Like, let's just say, okay, we get a Berserk that is just totally okay. A Berserk sequel that's totally okay. But is that good enough to just be like, yeah, that was okay?
Well, based on the result of it being not okay, we saw that.
But even still, it's like, it's the problem. It's the problem that I often have with sequels. And even sequels, remakes, it's like when you take something so beloved, something that people love so much, and then you turn it into the epitome of a 6, it's okay. So that's not really okay.
That's better than it becoming a fucking Berserk 2015 or 2016 and 7 Seeds situation.
Is it though? We got plenty of great...
Absolutely it is.
We got plenty of great South Park memes of Berserk 2017 and 16. I don't know what you're talking about.
I will say it would be better. I think it would be better, but it still would, like, if it came out and there was no comparison in this idea of what Berserk 2016 is now, I still think people would be like, oh, this is not good enough, this is bad, this is, like, why they...
I mean, that's common when it comes to any manga adaptation.
So you think then people would see a 6 out of 10 show and still mark it as a 2 kind of situation?
Oh, well, no, it wouldn't be that bad, but I still think you wouldn't get many... well, no one's going to be happy. None of the fans, at least, are going to be happy, and I think it's like close to impossible to make Berserk fans happy with an anime. Like, that's not going to happen, I don't think, ever.
So you think Berserk fans was not happy with the 1997 version?
No, they are actually.
Yeah,
they're fairly happy.
I think most are actually pretty happy with that one, but it's like...
So then why would it be so bad to have this?
I guess happy's not the right word, but, like, thinking that it, like, is, like, the best that it could be.
Well, I mean, yeah, obviously it could be way better.
Yeah, but JD, again, like we just said, you know how manga fans are.
I know how manga fans are.
There's a general, I mean, there's a reason why it's like always the same thing when it comes to anime adaptation. The manga fans are always the same. It's the manga's better. It's always better. Even if the anime is good, not as good as the manga. It can never be as good as the manga. The manga's perfect.
Yeah, I get it.
But, like... But
there
again,
are such things as bad adaptations. That does exist.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely.
Look at 7 Seeds.
Right? Yes. The thing is, like with Berserk 97 is generally very well liked. People don't just like it, they absolutely adore it. I know this because I once went on Reddit and I said that the 97 Berserk animation was bad, and fucking people hated me for it. That was the worst thing you could say.
Well,
I was
below par.
I know! That's why I'm surprised! But people love that shit. It's sacred. It's above criticism to people. And at first I was very confused. It's like, why is that? You're fans of the manga. Why are you okay with this? Until I realized that this is where a lot of people started. This is why a lot of people even picked up the manga in the first place. Right. And that's why I think it falls outside of that. Like, it's okay that it's not as good. It got me to the manga in the first place. But of course, now that everybody's into the manga, going back on that again, if another 97 Berserk came out, people would not be happy.
Okay, so
they would not be having it.
You're of the mind that it's like the Junji Ito anime.
Fuck that shit.
Where the detail was so much detail, and the presentation was taken away from what was presented in the original source material. Mm-hmm. While I can see that, I think in the case of this 97 Berserk, I think the feeling and presentation of the source material is present here. I think it maintains a lot of the aura that is given off from the original story. I think the progression of characters and how the story is paced out, and you could go on and on. I think it's all there. It's just the animation is very much below par, even from 1997 standards. I think everything stands for when it came out. I think it's all there, and the source material was translated well, and well enough that the show was good. I think it was good. So that's my opinion on it. And we're definitely running really long. I will give my score, and it really just hinders on the poor animation with me. So I'm giving it a very generous 8 out of 10. Era, why don't you go?
Yeah, alright. I actually did. I really enjoyed it. I went in not knowing what to expect, because I knew nothing about Berserk, and I enjoyed it way more than I thought I was going to. I thought I wouldn't, I thought I'd find it kind of just because the way that Berserk seems on the outside to me, it doesn't seem like something I would actually enjoy. I'm not usually the type to like dark fantasy and stuff. But at least what they show in this 97 part, I absolutely loved. Even though the animation was, subpar, everything else, I enjoyed a lot about it, and I was easily able to, sit down and watch episodes. I think I watched the whole thing in, 3-4 sittings. The most recent
it's an easy watch. I like that description. Easy watch, yeah.
Yeah, I watched 15 episodes in one sitting at one point. It's just I absolutely loved it. I always wanted to keep watching, and the characters and the dialogue and what happens. I really enjoy it. It really surprised me in that way, and I think I'll also give it an 8. It's close to a 9 for sure, but I think I'm still gonna stick with 8. But it's not like, oh, this is a generous 8. It's like, it's an 8, but I almost would give it a 9.
Okay.
Such a positive person. Oh, I remember those days. Those days of being positive. Nah, I mean, I'm extremely biased. I'm a huge fan. When I did it, I gave it a 9.
Ooh.
But I down it to a 7, and I think it's good there, and I think I'm being generous as a fanboy. Animation almost non-existent. A lot of stills, a lot of PowerPoint-like moments. I think it's they try to emulate the manga, and the feeling of movement of the manga using a lot of stills, and as well a way of cutting costs. Didn't really work that well in the anime. Music, you have good themes, especially Guts themes. The characters, I honestly don't have anything to say about them. I'm way too big of a fanboy to even make a comment right now. So 7.
Costco and Gatsu and Griffin.
Yeah, 7 is a good number for that.
Yeah. I definitely do not agree with what Era and JD said about this being an easy watch for me. I remember watching this. Yeah, I remember watching this, and I watched 2 episodes in a row, and I had to stop because I was almost falling asleep. This was in the early part of it. I was bored, genuinely, very bored.
Wow.
So it does improve from there. It doesn't stay like that. Once it grips you, it really grips you, and then you're invested. Then it becomes easy to watch. But I do feel like there is this moment of, and I kind of blame what it was sold to me, because what it was sold to me was this horrific, gruesome, violent action thing. It's like, it's fairly peaceful for that, to be honest. Like, sure, there are moments, but where's the killing? Where's the murder? Where's the action? So that definitely ruined a little bit of it for me. And made it a little bit of a boring watch early on, but again, it improves. The animation, like I've said, I don't care how much people disagree or fucking want to say whatever. I think the animation even in this one, I think it is unacceptably bad.
Yeah, that's what keeps it. That's what keeps it from a higher score with me. Exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Tori, on that one.
Mm-hmm. So it's not just animation; it's general. A lot of the artwork, especially backgrounds, there was a lot of corner cutting in the backgrounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The forest that look like paint blobs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and it's unfortunate that this is just something Berserk can never live down because they keep doing it. But it is what it is. When it grips you, it grips you. The characters are definitely the strong suit of this one.
It's almost like this show should have come out in 92 instead.
Yeah. No, but like this show, like the characters is most definitely the strong suit of this show. Guts, who you think is just a fucking brain dead muscle guy who murders, and Costco, who just at first you think she's just yeah, of course, female knight, we need that in here. And then Griffith, who's just like, I'm the leader type, and then turns out they develop, and then it's just like, damn, there's like way more to them than that. They are characters. I didn't expect that. So there's so much to love here that is covered up by so much that I goddamn hate. And that I want to be very rude to the show, but I can't. I still did enjoy it at the end of the day. Like, it saved itself in the end. So I'm going to go with Hick, and I'm going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
We're all kind of like in the same ballpark then.
Because of the
ending,
give
it a 7.
Because
now
of the
get
ending,
off my lawn.
The ending is a hard 4 because it doesn't end. Just saying.
Well, yes, but
it ends in the middle of a cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's shocking enough that it's like, damn, did they just die? And then it's like,
oh yeah, like me seeing the ending, not knowing what it was like, I was just like, holy crap, what is going on? And then everyone started dying, and I was like, is this just like I knew it continued, so that obviously had an effect, but I was just like, holy crap, that ending is crazy.
Yeah, if you didn't know it continued, you just, like I said, I thought for a long time that that's it.
Yeah, if I didn't know it continued, I would have thought, oh, he died, that's it, that's the end, everyone dies, is the end.
And then you hear it's literally just a fucking setup to the rest of the story. Just like,
it's
set
the
up,
fucking prologue. It's not even the story yet.
So there you go. So 8, 9, 7, 7 respectively for Berserk 97. Surprisingly, much higher scores I thought was going to come from everybody.
Did you just say 8, 9? It's 8, 8, 7, 7.
No, Era gave it a 9. Oh no, yeah, that's right. 8, 8, 7, 7.
I said I was close to 9, but had to go with 8.
8, 8,
Always
7,
got to correct this guy. Damn.
I was gonna make one egregious error per episode. Era, it was great having you on. Maybe we'll have you back someday. You're more than welcome back.
Sorry I made so many mistakes.
It's fine.
fine.
We all did it in the beginning. It happens. Just about getting used to it.
Well, look forward to episode 56 here in a couple weeks. We're finally doing Bebop High School.
We've got there, Hickey!
Oh, finally. It's my redemption arc Because those motherfuckers, they don't like the anime. I recommend for this fucking podcast, even though they always are very well received by our audience.
They always end up being one of our most downloaded episodes, and we all hate it.
And they hate it. So this is my redemption arc, actually, with a known to be very good anime.
So Bebop High School is for episode 56. This was episode 55, reviewing Berserk and the summer 2019 impressions. Era again, thank you for coming. And everybody, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Goodbye. Peace.
Looking back, the morning comes to find your face in your grass. Take the moonlight, by the tail to any side, just shouting. What is there? It's just the same. What is trying your crown? I'm spanning my grass, walking back so where my grass shall fade in.